X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who spit facts online all the time. Can you see it? All the ones who drag my name every single day. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it? They keep saying you don't have what it takes to carve out your own name underneath the shadows of gods. And I keep waiting for the day disbelievers say I flew way too close to the sun. I wait, but it never really comes. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. Why do they just stand there against when they fall from the battles I have overcome? You feel it, feel the cope and the seething tone that they make while I stand up, man among gods. And I keep thinking with my mill, shooting ropes in my cold that faces towards the sun. They hate, but I'm sitting comfy with their mom. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A spell that attracts all who speak facts online all the time. The X in my name is not just a symbol or a target sign. A force that compels all to rebel from all right shackled minds. It's you and me, your mom, it's me. I'll take another hit from my name. You'll see now, watch me live now, punch your face down. Show you how.
Once again, I must say, what a banger. Good afternoon, everybody. It is so good to see all of you. My hair is messy as always. I've yet to get a haircut. I continue to put it off, and my hair continues to look worse each day, but, you know, you just gotta keep going regardless. Good to see all of you. I hope you're all having a good one. Hello, DJ Sanchez, Exolar, Faye Wings, Susie Clem BLM, Cleaver120, Aska, as well as Night Moth and a Pillow. Good to see you as well. Roundabout, hello. Trans Daughter of Water, good to see you. Spice X, hello. Our Family, how are you doing? Jared the Rabbit, good to see you. Paladin Jukes, what's up? Megamania, good to see you as well. Mad Maddie Sock, hello. Wingo, good to see you. KCC, what's up? Hello, hello. Just Spice? Okay. J-Spoon, good to see you as well. Senpai noticed me. True. And real. Okay, everybody. Fun stream plan for today. We're going to be playing more of the Minecraft Better Than Adventure update mod world that update world mod thing that I started yesterday on stream while responding to Chud videos. It's going to be a fun stream. It's going to be a nice vibe of Minecraft in the background and dunking on Chuds in the foreground. You guys seem to like those streams, and Better Than Adventure is a pretty cool mod pack. I've just gotten into it. Sadness? Why are you sad? You don't like when there's Minecraft in the background of segments? You're gonna be lurking for VR Tarkov? Is Tarkov VR a thing? That's awesome if it is. Ugh. My eyes are like tired today. Like, I don't feel tired, but my eyes are tired, which is usually the case. I don't know why, but like, my eyes almost always feel sleepy. Minecraft makes for a chill stream while discussing heavy topics, not gonna lie. Makes it feel safer, more cozy? Okay. Oh, because you can't Ricardo in chat because you're a white name. Ooh. You let your blue name expire. Can't do that. Zan needs some blue light reflective lenses. I've thought about that. Should I go on Amazon, like, right now and order some, like, gunners or whatever they're called? Like the gamer glasses that are meant to be worn while you're looking at the computer? I probably should do that, because, like, my eyes are actively watering. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's just because I'm so tired today. In my eyes. Not even, like, I'm not tired. Like, I'm talking to you guys, and I'm very clearly not tired. My eyes just get so, hard to keep open, you know? Particularly when I'm live. I don't know why. Maybe sunglasses would help. Like, some kind of glasses. Get gaming glasses and be forever roasted? I mean, I might, just for the safety of my eyes, you know? Coffee? I just drank coffee, that's the thing. Ugh. I feel like the more I rub my eyes, the more they're going to water, you know? But also, if I don't, then I just can't see. More coffee? I could do that. Blue light. Okay, hold on, let's see. Blue light blocker glasses. Oh, yeah. Here are the gunners, or whatever they're called, from, Amazon. I could get those in 2 days. I love living in Seattle. I mean, they don't look bad at all, either. I don't know, maybe I'll look more distinguished. It's the herbs, Zan. Well, I haven't gotten stoned today, chat. It's only 4:05. I can't get stoned for another 15 minutes. Yeah, definitely gonna... Yeah, I'm gonna buy these. They're on sale right now for pretty cheap, too. Nice. Man, they've streamlined buying shit through Amazon so much. You press 2 buttons, maybe 1. Like, Jesus Christ. All right, there we go. I'll have those glasses here in 2 days, which is nice because I have tomorrow off. So that's one of those days. And then the day that they're supposed to arrive is my next stream day. So if I'm lucky, they'll arrive that day. But if not, I can, you know, rest assured knowing I can use them the stream after that. Zan joins the Gunners. The Commonwealth collectively screams in terror, lol. Good one. Good reference. Good meme. I should get some different styles glasses for when I'm wearing contacts and just want to block out blue light. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I mean, I think the glasses I ordered look pretty nice. I might look pretty good with them. I'm not going to wear them all the time, but definitely, like, what I'll probably do is wear them when I'm not streaming. Because it's usually because I spend a lot of time looking at the screen even when I'm not live. So then when I'm live and I have to, like, keep my eyes a lot more open than I normally would. Because, you know, I want to not... Normally I'd keep my eyes, like, a bit more like this. But on stream, I like to keep them a bit more like this. Like, I have to actively, like, fight to keep them open this wide. Because my eyes naturally just kind of look like this. So yeah, it's weird. Doctors say you get more blue light exposure from the sun than a screen. Yeah, but the problem with that is you're supposed to wear sunglasses outside on bright days. Like, that's also what optometrists recommend. And not only that, but you can really get, like, your eyes damaged badly just from the sun. People go blind just from skiing and snowboarding without proper eye protection because the sunlight hits the snow at the right angle, and you just get blinded. If you look at the sun for even a few seconds directly, you can lose your vision. Yeah, it's like... So, yeah, the sun might be worse as far as the blue light damage to your eyes. It's also damaging your eyes in a lot of other ways. But when you're looking at a screen for hours and hours and hours and hours, it's a boiling the frog effect. So yeah, you should get, you know, you do want to protect your eyes. Always wear goggles skiing or snowboarding, even on a bluebird day. Yep. Like, especially on a day where it's, like, muggy and cloudy. Because that actually, generally is ice particles in the atmosphere, which you can't tell, but it's magnifying the light. People go out thinking, like, you get those days where it's like there's snow on the ground and it's cloudy, but it's still warm up on mountains sometimes. So people will go out, like, in, like, a swimsuit on the mountain in the snow for, like, photos or whatever, and they'll, like, run around a bit for fun, and they'll come in with a sunburn the next day. And they'll be like, how the fuck did I get a minutes without a shirt on in the snow on a cloudy day? And it's because all those ice particles and all that snow is magnifying the light hardcore onto your skin. So sunburns are pretty common, especially on the faces of skiers. Like, a lot of that red isn't frostbite and, like, cold response. It's actually sunburn. Same thing as a lifeguard. Even when you're not in the water, the parallax, the water parallax, like, you know the wiggly wobbly light lines you get on the bottom and outside of the water from the light hitting the water, that shit, like, will give you a sunburn if you're just hanging out in it. Oh, you're skipping? Oh, my stream's lagging out? I have no issues on my end. I have no connection issues on my end. It might be YouTube. I think for once it's not my internet fucking up. I think it's YouTube. No, stream is fine? Okay. It did for me? It seems like only people on YouTube are reporting it. It's fine on my end, not skipping for me. Just slight. Oh wow, this is YouTube viewers getting the shaft here. That's awesome. Turns out the stream actually works better on my site too. It's lagging, not on my website apparently. If you're watching on YouTube right now, you should come to my website for a variety of reasons, but also apparently because the stream doesn't lag on my site. I refreshed, it's fine now? Cool. I had momentary lag on my end here. Oh, okay, never mind. Apparently it was just some people that experienced it. It was definitely YouTube's side. I am certain it was YouTube's side. Yo, did me and A Pillow's review get any of you guys to check out the first 2 episodes of Fiona and Cake? I'm curious what you guys thought who watched it because of my recommendation. I saw one person said they did and they loved it. You going to stream 2B2T again? Thoughts on rollback? I mean, the rollback was kind of cringe, but I don't mind it too much. And, I mean, I'm already reestablished on 2B. Right now, I'm just working on villager trading stuff, like getting a bunch of villagers that can trade a bunch of different books and other things set up, which is just kind of off-stream work. Like, I like to listen to a podcast while I do it, so what I've been doing on 2B right now is just not great stream content, so once I'm done with that, I'll be back on 2B, but for now, I'm going to be streaming Better Than Adventure. I was going to anyway, but I did watch it before going back through Adventure Time, and it is so fucking good. Yeah, it is absurd how... Like, the fact that Adventure Time is now a contender in the realm of adult animation... Like, Adventure Time already dominated the realm of like kids animation when it was like in its prime running on Cartoon Network. I'm excited to see if it is going to blow up in popularity and dominate a lot of the popular adult animated shows we know about now. That's what I hope for. It's the best case scenario. Being a non-Adventure Time fan and a Xanderhall fan is hard right now, SMH. You should check out the new show. Yeah. Hey Zan, what's your opinion on Turkey Tom and his latest vid? I am also referring to the image he shared of Keffals. I'm not aware of what's going on with Turkey Tom and Keffals, but I know that he's been obsessed with Keffals for a while. Yeah, the show is fantastic. It's based as fuck. One of the best things about it is just how laid back it is compared to the original show. Alrighty. Let me get the first topic ready, guys. Yes, Josh Kiss. Yes, we are. Y'all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. It honestly pains me to say that Tim Pool is possibly the most influential single political figure on all of YouTube. He has several channels across which he has a cumulative millions of subscribers. On just his main channel, Timcast IRL, he has 1.5 million subscribers, and he doesn't pull, like, insane viewership on his videos or anything. In fact, his viewership on his videos is actually kind of low for a channel of that size, sub-wise, but he uploads so frequently that it all balances out in the end. He does the right-wing model of just flooding the algorithm with low-effort content, and just kind of beating the YouTube meta by doing that, you know? And it's been pretty successful for him. I mean, the guy literally has a company that he runs and is the head of. He's got several, like, interns and employees. He's in a, like, he owns a big compound that he operates his business out of that has a basement skateboard rink. Every time we talk about Tim Pool, I feel the need to bring this up. The fact that, like, this isn't even unique, by the way. I know Tim Pool is, like, the biggest of these conservative pundits, but to give you an idea how much power and wealth these people have behind them, this is just casually the basement of his compound where he runs his podcast out of. This is the basement, part of the basement, I apologize. Not the whole basement, it's not just this room. This is part of the basement.
Ridiculous mini ramps you will ever see. This ramp looks exactly like the mini ramp that's on Skater XL. Pretty much it's every skateboarder's dream.
Well, here you go. Look at that, we got a TV up there. We can play basketball, we can skate. Here's the best part. Alright, so this place has 2 VIP lounges. They built this in, this was extra. These guys are awesome. Look at that little A-frame rail. So here's the secret. Everything's done. We can skate now. It's wonderful. We got VIP lounge up top. Now theoretically, you can just climb up, okay? But if you can climb up, you can climb up. We're gonna set up, you know, a couch here. We're gonna put a rug. It's gonna be real cool. TV, video games. We got the TV up in the corner.
So yeah, like, this is, not gonna lie, it looks super cool. Too bad its owner is one of the biggest grifters online. No, it's super duper cool. I would want, like, a indoor basement shooting range instead, personally. But, like, no, this is super duper cool. My point is, it is not uncommon for right-wing pundits to have so much money at their disposal that they can just afford this stuff. We know Steven Crowder was offered $50 million in a contract by the Daily Wire. there is unfathomable amounts of money being like passed around behind the scenes, but in these right-wing circles, and Tim Pool is one of the most successful of those people. Now, all of this should kind of bother you because he's also a massive loser who has failed into success. Recently, Tim Pool had like the Fresh and Fit guys on his show, I believe. God, my nose won't stop itching. He had like the Fresh and Fit guys on his show, I believe, and he said something that I've been asked to react to on stream. Let's watch.
The men are saying, we want something different. We don't want the Instagram hoe that I can fly in overnight just to have a quick,
That is biology.
That's never happening.
That's
biology. With all due respect, that's never.
Yeah.
No, but hold on. Like,
go ahead.
I agree a lot with what he's saying. Imagine if women are only looking at the top 8, 9, 10 of men.
Yeah.
If guys like you just started shaming women, do they? You know who's paying for OnlyFans, right? It's lower quality guys.
Yeah.
100%.
So if high quality dudes who got really nice watches and pull up in a Bugatti, and this woman's like, yeah, I want to come hang with you, and he goes, so yeah, what's your body count? And he goes, how dare you ask me that? I don't want no hoe in my car. And he takes off.
Yeah.
Now she's embarrassed. She got shut down, and more women are going to say, if I want a high value man, because only the guys are going to come after me are going to be high value.
So maybe
let's
flip
be real here. Though.
Okay, are we going to turn this into the Dreamcast?
Yeah.
So something I've noticed is that's become more common than ever among incel adjacent guys, and obviously full-on incel dudes, but even the more like adjacent type dudes, is this idea that it's like come full circle. At one point it was incels were dudes who were upset that they could not get laid. And then it became a more politically based ideology around like men's rights and like social analysis of women having more power in society than men, right? It was all bullshit, but it just kind of transformed over time. And then it became like the Andrew Tate style, get bitches and make them work for you in your sex trafficking ring. Here's how, pay me money to learn. And now it's like evolved full circle to the way to be a high value man is to not only be successful and wealthy and what have you, but to also be, the way they would word it is to be strong enough to resist the urge to have sex with women. Like the incel ideal man position has gone full circle to being a volcel. They want to be extremely attractive to women, to have very, very attractive women interested in them, but to have the what they don't have now, what they want to have is the privilege of being able to turn down these countless hot women and not have any interest in them because they are just so well off in so many different categories, including relationship-wise fulfillment. That is what they would argue. In reality, it's massive cuck behavior. These are dudes who've gotten so immersed in incel ideology. And I will be honest, a lot of these dudes are not classic incels in that they are like virgin dudes who cannot get laid and cannot get into a relationship. Plenty of these dudes are actually in relationships. Many of these dudes have used Andrew Tate's advice, have some level of money, and have found women that are actually receptive to that type of advice that Andrew Tate gives. And as much as this may surprise you, there are a lot of women out there with very low standards for themselves that will absolutely fall for the type of shit Andrew Tate teaches men to do to pick up women. There are a lot of women out there that'll actually fall for it. Not saying most women will, but there are a lot of women out there that will. And a lot of these guys have relationships, and those relationships validate their beliefs. Tim Pool is not one of them, though. Tim Pool is not one of those dudes who's one of those like misogynistic incel light, but in a relationship somehow dudes. Tim Pool is a classic incel, and the reason why he's gotten so familiar with the Fresh and Fit guys, Just Pearly Things, and these other professional misogynists is because if you go back just literally a couple years ago and look at what Tim Pool was saying about relationships, let's just say he wasn't as afraid to be mask off about the state of his dating life and You know, let's just take a look at this clip.
I can't possibly have babies because of climate change. You know,
Right, which is nonsense.
No, of
But I do
course.
think it's crazy that I'm about to be 34 and I have no family. Because my dad had 2 kids by the time he was 27.
yeah.
And I'm like, man, you know what the problem is, though? It's definitely not me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely not me.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's everybody else.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know how to respond to that, because saying it's not me, it's everybody else is the most on its face ridiculous statement one could ever make. It's literally the meme format where Skinner's it's the Principal Skinner meme that people translate statements that have been dog whistled out that mean that. They respond with that meme. But here he just said the meme with a straight face, and the woman he no doubt is paying to be on the show to be a yes woman for him is just like, yeah. Like, why isn't she dating him then? If it's not him, then why isn't she dating him? Yeah, it's the women who are the problem. That's why I can't start a family and find a relationship. Listen, what these guys prey on is a certain level of social anxiety that I feel is mostly unique to men's experience. And while it's not uniquely awful, it's unique. The problem itself is unique, and that's why I think a lot of men find themselves getting radicalized by these far-right, you know, incel, Andrew Tate type figures, because there aren't a lot of figures on the left that are men who are willing to like talk about this shit, because it's easy to be misconstrued, misrepresented, and canceled. And 2, because, I mean, if you're a woman, then you're probably not as familiar with this. I think that a lot of guys, and I used to think like this, and it took like a lot of growing up to break out of this mindset, which is why I think a lot of these dudes are probably under 21 years old, like under 21, 22 years old, if I were to guess, which is pretty young. I think a lot of younger guys are still very mentally undeveloped, generally speaking, in regards to their views on women and relationships, even if subconsciously. And I think the best way to put this bias, this view into words, is that I think a lot of guys subconsciously view themselves as only mattering and only being valuable as a male if they are the best specimen of a male. And I think a lot of guys deep down, even if they don't admit it to themselves out loud, think of themselves as such. And when that idea is challenged in any way, it hurts their ego badly. So they seek out figures that are able to put on a character like Andrew Tate, who feels so unreal and out of this world that if you were to model yourself after a figure like this, then surely you would be that ideal specimen of a male. I think this usually comes about when a lot of guys go through their first like breakup or rejection, or more commonly cheating. Like, I think a lot of guys will go through one relationship and get cheated on by a girl, and this will heavily paint their opinion of women. They'll start to seek out validation of their emotional beliefs that they'll have in that moment. I've seen I've seen a lot of guys that will go through a breakup and then go to different internet communities where they will allow the anger about the breakup to fester. And usually that's where a lot of this incel, like, politically misogynistic ideas come from. Is cheating that common? I mean, it's hard to statistically measure because how many people are going to admit to cheating. I do know, I think the last study that I saw did say that women admit to cheating more than men do. Granted, that's admitting, but that would indicate that women are maybe not necessarily more likely to cheat, but more likely to be open and honest about it after cheating, which a lot of incels have have used to suggest that women are more inclined to cheating, or even that women are more inclined to cheating and they are less inclined to even feel guilty about it. It's a misogynistic idea, but they'll try to cherry pick data and usually anecdotes in order to construct this narrative. Vosh did a segment on how left-leaning women should stop settling for right-wing guys. Fucking base, dude. Yeah, I think I was in chat when he did that, and I said, shoe on head catching strays, and then I think Vosh responded to it by saying, well, I don't think she's catching strays here. It's more of a direct hit. I was like, damn, okay. No, like, I do legitimately think that. To be fair, this doesn't really apply to shoe on head as much because she is politically incoherent, but I mean, that is a stereotype that exists. Like I think it's more common. Okay, so I've heard several friends of mine who are black and several friends of mine who are trans describe this type of woman. She's white, she's liberal, and she's dating a conservative, and she says something along the lines of, don't worry, my boyfriend's a little iffy about black people, or my boyfriend's a little iffy about trans people. He may misgender you. He may not use your pronouns. He might use slurs or say some pretty iffy stuff, but he's really a good guy if you get to know him. You know? Like, I've met several people, part of, like, marginalized groups, who have talked about the liberal ally white woman who's dating a massive bigot and makes excuses for said boyfriend's behavior to said marginalized person and expects them to be fine with that. That's not an uncommon thing. Yep. Gross, you just described my mom? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's just it's pretty common. Bottom behavior? Yeah, I do unironically think that sexual kink more... here's what I will say. 100% of the time, the lefty white women who date these conservative men are always bottoms. 100% of the time. I'm not saying all lefty bottoms are a risk of becoming this, but all of them are lefty bottoms. Like subs or whatever. Like, if your boyfriend is politically a piece of shit and you date him, you're also a piece of shit. Yeah. I mean, well, I don't know if it goes that far, but I think it indicates that you don't care as much about the issues you claim to care about than you say you do. I wouldn't go that far. I do think tolerance of that is lowering. I have found that lately I've seen a lot less of acceptance of that. But yeah, I would say, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but these incel guys desperately rely on the validation of even a single woman saying their ideas have merit to legitimize them. And there are some awful women out there, just like there are awful men. And there are plenty of those awful women out there that are willing to promote misogyny in exchange for money. You'll notice that when we watch people like Just Pearly Things is a perfect example, but she does it as like a career. But when you watch like Fresh and Fit or any of these dedicated right-wing incel anti-woman podcasts, they always have a group of like 20-year-old dolled up Instagram models on there to either argue with. And the women they argue with are always, like, just the biggest space cadets you've ever seen. Like, they must have gone on the street and tried to find, like... Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they specifically go out on the street and do that thing they like to do where they find, like, one girl who can't name 3 countries off the top of her head, and then they bring her on. And they'll debate a girl like that, and then they'll bring on, like, 3 women who are Instagram models that agree with them, or are paid to agree with them. And the guys who watch that see these very attractive women agreeing with the guys they're watching, and they see that as the biggest validation there ever could be. Any other woman who then tries to argue against those beliefs will just look like they're trying to toe the line, the woman line or whatever. They see the women that go on these shows, people like Just Pearly Things, as traitors to the woman agenda or whatever, the feminist agenda, that are saying it how it is, despite the fact that, you know, it could end up hurting their ability to benefit from the evils of feminism or whatever. It's truly deranged. It really, really is. And Tim Pool is one of the biggest proponents of it these days. I know that segment was a little bit shorter, but I feel like it came out pretty good. What do y'all think of it? Xander Hall, there are several black, Asian, and Latina women who date bigoted right-wing men. Oh yeah, that's not uncommon either. But I'm talking about the types that, like, claim to be an ally. As much as I hate the word, it has some use in this scenario, and still, like, date somebody who genuinely wants, like, their friends dead, you know? I feel like that segment came out pretty good. What do you think, Xander Hall, every time he ends a segment? Yeah, wait. Guys, do you think it's unreasonable for me to ask you guys if a segment came out good and for recommendations on how I can improve my content? I get hate comments all the time on my videos about how my videos are boring and not entertaining. So I ask you guys if the segment was good so you guys can give me feedback. Probably the most common hate comment I get is that my videos are boring. Xander Hall, thoughts on Andy Worski and his co-host PPP calling you a weed out cuck? That's funny as fuck. Isn't Andy Worski, like, in jail? Did he get out of jail after he had his little meltdown in the street with that guy? While he was doing his, like, stay back, stay back. Andy Worski still exists? Yeah, apparently he does. Cool to know he knows who I am, though. Worski never went to jail? Okay. Maybe, I think it was his friend that went to jail, maybe. Do you think you might be able to raid me after stream? No problem, Apillo, yeah. Cuck is a meaningless insult. It means nothing, but it's common online. Who is Andy Worski? I always love when, like, I have people in my audience who are newer to politics online, and they don't know, like, the ancient, washed-up, like, right-wing figures that used to be big back in the day, but are now, like, 200 viewer Andy Nazi streamers on Kick or whatever. How do you predict these things? Magic. Speaking of weed, it's past 4:20 p.m. Very nice. All right, what's the next thing we're covering? We got some good topics today. By the way, if you're watching right now and you're enjoying the stream, you can always send some support my way simply by dropping a like. Hitting the thumbs up button over on YouTube sends a lot more support my way than I think you guys even know. And of course, if you want to go the extra mile and you've got the money for it, you can always donate, gift a sub, subscribe, or support me on any of my other platforms. But YouTube's probably the best one to do it on, as well as my website. Did you see Fresh and Fit got kicked off YouTube? Oh yeah, they got kicked off like a couple weeks ago, right? I think I have, James Hurley. Short Fat Otaku is more relevant than Razor Fist. I haven't heard of Razor Fist in like literal years. But Short Fat Otaku is relatively relevant. Did you see... Oh yeah, I already read that one. Did they actually get banned from YouTube, or were they just removed from the YouTube Partner Program? I think they got full-on removed from YouTube, but to be fair, YouTube has been very iffy with applications, their TOS lately, on people who aren't left-leaning, so it's very possible they get brought back. Fresh and Fit is losing their studio because the idiots set it up in a residential area. Oh, that's funny as fuck. That's actually really funny. My dream has always been to, like, literally since I was, like, 13, and I would be watching, like, The Creatures and stuff as a kid. My dream was always to be able to afford, like, a big building where me and all my YouTuber friends could, like, create content out of. Sort of like a YouTuber house, but more of, like, a mix between an office building and an apartment complex. Xander Hall encouraging me to get high. I'm not encouraging you to get high. If you don't need to get high right now because you got other things to do, then don't get high right now. I'm encouraging you to get high? Well, you don't have to encourage me. I do that all on my own, guys. That's just something I have the ability to do of my own volition. Xander Hall, will you have servants? Fuck no. Okay, I will say, I could never have somebody clean up after me. Even when my mom would offer to clean up after me, I would argue with her no. Because as much as I even hate, like, doing chores or hated doing chores when I was younger, I never wanted anybody else doing them for me, because that always made me feel like such a piece of shit. So it was always like, just leave me alone to do it on my own, in my own time, you know? That was always, like, what I preferred, and you know, it's nice to be, you know, living on your own and to be able to do that of your own volition. It's nice. I found, like, since becoming an adult and living on my own, I've found just general housework and chores to be way more enjoyable because it's for my own space. And no one else is coming along to fuck it up after I fix it, you know? Like, if I do the dishes and I go to bed, I'm gonna wake up to an empty sink. I don't think you guys understand how much of a boon that is to your desire to want to do the dishes at any given time. The knowledge that if you do the dishes, there aren't going to be more dishes unless you make more dishes. It's a real motivator to actually get things done. Well, no, Paladin Jukes, that segment wasn't good for doing Minecraft during, because they were such short video clips that I'd have to be switching in and out of the game too much, so I do the Minecraft part once the longer videos start. Please stop spamming, James Hurley. Invest in a dishwasher? I'm gonna be real, I never really ended up using the dishwasher. I always just wash things by hand, you know? Like, just scrub the shit out of it until it's literally spotless, and then, like, soapy, boiling hot water over it for, like, 30 seconds until the water runs completely clean and non-sudsy. And then, like, literally all you need to do is dry it off and it's ready to eat off of, and then I put it away. That's how I do my dishes. And always have, even when I did have a dishwasher. I don't know, it just feels wrong. I don't, especially because, like, even the dishwashers that could clean your stuff when it's, like, actively dirty and you put it in there, like, it just always felt wrong to me. I feel way more comfortable eating off of the plates when I know how thoroughly I scrubbed them and how scalding the water was on my hands when I cleaned them. It lets me know how clean those plates are when I pull them out of the cabinet to eat off them. There's just something about that, you know? Yeah, Fey Wings gets it. The dishwasher sanitizes them? Sure, but, like, that literally would just add an extra step because I would just be cleaning them just as much as I would before. But then I would be having to load the dishwasher, run it, and then come back later to unload it. Adding, like, there's nothing worse than having to do a chore that has downtime during the chore, and you can't just do it all in one session and one sitting and get it over with. That is the worst. My way of doing dishes lets me make it all one thing that I just get done and over with. If you put it in the dishwasher and set it to go, you've got to sit there for like 30 minutes dreading getting back up to finish the dishes in 30 minutes, which, like, massively increases the amount of the time where you're, like, feeling like you're doing chores. Listen, guys, I'm so lazy that I've put in unimaginable amounts of work and brain power into reasoning out the way to do work with the least amount of effort, okay? I'll work all night if it gets nothing done. What's the quote? I'll work all night if it means nothing gets done. So lazy, he unlazied his chores. So you're a coder. Coders do this, exactly. Alright, everybody. I'm gonna very quickly open up my my thing to get some cool air in here, as well as take a quick bathroom break, and then we're gonna start our next segment. So, yeah, I'll be right back, guys. Just a second. I return. So glad I found Zan through Vouch. After today's stream, I plan to watch Zan's debate with Hunter on Xeno pronouns, and really looking forward to it. I think that one went pretty well. I also did one with Hans of Herkir. I think Vosh reacted to that one on stream too, while playing like a video game, and like reviewed the debate. So yeah, that one was pretty good as well. You should check that one out too. Xana just bought a pocket pussy today and it feels way better. Have you ever tried one? I love the type of autism my fans have. Not only did you just admit to buying a pocket pussy today in the chat, you just had the social audacity to ask a streamer in public, have you ever tried a pocket pussy? I will have you know I have never tried a pocket pussy. I don't know what it would feel like. I feel like it would feel like... I mean... probably like a blown-up rubber glove, right? Because they're made of latex, usually. So it would feel like a blown-up latex glove, or maybe like one filled with water or something. No, I have not tried one, though. But good luck with your pocket pussy, brother. Would I ever get one even as a joke? No, because if I had one as a joke, no one would believe that it was for a joke, though, you know? Like, no one would believe that it was as a joke, right? Like, the only sex toy that you can reasonably get as a joke is literally the Moby Huge. No one is like, unironically going to believe that you're, like, shoving the Moby Huge up your asshole. Like, when stream's over or something. So it's like, that's, like, the safest thing you can get, and, like, nobody can try to twist it into not being a joke. The moment I happen to come back to the stream. Yes, Luke Breadstorm. I want to get a Moby Huge so bad, it's hilarious. Oh, do you guys not know what the Moby Huge is? For those that don't know, the Moby Huge is a 4-foot tall, I would probably say like a foot in diameter, dildo. Just a massive fucking dildo that's about as tall as about as tall as like a 12-year-old. It's like a person-sized dildo. And it's a joke thing. It is a joke item. It is for having in your home as a hilarious joke item. Like, there's my person-sized dildo. No, it's taller than that, Prancing Goldfish. Also, that's a slur. I have an innie belly button, thank God. That's actually the fact that I have an innie belly button is actually the, work of my mom, like, taking the initiative that I'm glad she did, because my doctor who delivered me was left-handed, and usually it's left-handed doctors that tie off the umbilical cord that causes an outie. At least that's what I heard. And my mom insisted that it be a right-handed doctor or nurse that do it, and so that's why I have an innie. Outies exist? What's wrong with an outie belly button? I would not want one. I don't find outie belly buttons particularly attractive personally. So I got fucked over because of my doctor. Oh no, a pillow. I mean, that's why I think it happens, right? Wait, let me Google it. Why do people have outie belly buttons? I'm pretty sure it's why. Oh, maybe not. Apparently, it has to do with the way in which the umbilical cord injury, that meaning where they cut it, heals. Like, how it heals. And sometimes it heals outwardly. And sometimes it heals inwardly. I feel like that's gotta be, like, a doctor fucking up to make it go out, though. You know? I don't know, if I had any belly button, I feel like one day I would have just been like, fuck it, and just like punched myself in the stomach as hard as possible to see if I could just pop it in, you know? I feel like I would have done that. Can you show us your belly button for $50? Why are you guys trying to get me to whore myself out on stream? What is this? How horny are you guys? What the fuck? There was someone in YouTube chat like 5 minutes ago asking to see my feet. What is going on? I get it, I'm sexy and irresistible, but stop asking me to post my bare body for money. Not that I have any moral or even, like, philosophical obligation to people who do that, or even doing that myself, but it's not on the table, okay? You guys gotta get me to at least 1 million subs before I post any NSFW content of myself publicly. Well, that's a horrific thought, puppy from the alt account. Jesus. Zan already has a job. He doesn't need to do weird belly button sex work. I love that. That's good. Did you cover Obama being gay? Yeah, we covered Matt Walsh's reaction to Obama being gay. I have, like, a second channel for uploading, like, stuff that doesn't really fit on the main channel, like video game stuff, called Only Zans. Yeah, Pussy's so good, why didn't they make Pussy 2? Actually, I think Pussy 2 would be trans women who've gotten bottom surgery. I'm pretty certain that would unironically be Pussy 2. So I guess it is pretty good. They did make a sequel. They made a sequel. Okay. Enough fiddle fucking around. It's time to get the next segment ready. Vosh's take on fighting games is the most true fucking shit I've ever heard. Stay mad. He was right on the money about fighting games. I've never even played Smash Bros. That is how based and anti-fighting game pilled I am. Literally, fighting games are probably the most pointless type of video game there is. Unless you're doing it for, like, going pro or whatever. Like, I genuinely... Outside of, like, party game scenarios with friends... and going pro, and that's, like, your goal in life, and you're gonna, like, you know, just push to that. I genuinely cannot see the draw to those games. Like, at least with Minecraft, there's the idea of having a creative idea, a build in your mind, and having that urge to bring it into reality. But with like fighting games, it's just the same stages, the same like characters, sometimes new ones, but like what's the point of it really being a new one? Is it really all that special? Is it changing the formula that much? Like it's always the same shit every time. Fighting games suck. Fighting games are garbage. They are a cancer to the gaming genre. Nintendo is almost solely responsible for keeping that genre alive, which is a big part of why it's also bad and Nintendo's also bad. Nintendo is also trash. Nintendo stands are the biggest cucks in all of gaming. People who shit talk Ubisoft and Bethesda but still dick ride Nintendo are genuinely incapable of seeing the other side of the issue. With gaming, like they can see games themselves have gotten less fun, but they'll excuse horrible business practices if the games themselves, even if they're not even that good or that fun, as long as they're like passable and you can sink a lot of time into them, then, and they're like a known IP, then, which Nintendo has a lot of, then people will like just fawn over these games. Like I'm gonna be honest, I played the first couple stages of Mario Odyssey once. It was not as good as I expected it. Every Nintendo game I've ever tried was never as good as people hyped it up to be. And then on top of that, Nintendo consoles are literally mathematically, provably, scientifically, indisputably worse than every other console on the market and overpriced for the cost. The amount of money you could spend to just get a computer and emulate Nintendo games, like, they're more durable. Nintendo consoles are more durable? That's your selling point? That's your selling point, that the consoles are more durable. What do you mean by durable? Like, they take more abuse? What's your take on Xbox? I was never much of an Xbox guy, mostly because my first ever Xbox, my only ever Xbox, was a Xbox 360. My mom had, like, saved up money and made sure that I was able to get one the week they came out. And if you know anything about the Xbox 360s, then you know the first generation of Xbox 360s, like, 20% of them or something like that were prone to the red ring of death, and mine got the red ring of death one day when I went to turn it on and play some Halo 2, and I was just like, wait, what? Why is my console not working? What the hell? What? And I could never fix it. No, like, the towel trick didn't work, the holding down the button thing didn't work. I think I even opened it at one point to see if there was anything wrong, and that didn't work. It was just beyond giga-fucked, and the fact that I'd opened it voided the warranty, so I couldn't get it replaced. So I just ended up getting a hand-me-down PS3 that literally probably still works to this day. Like, it was a PS3 that I'm pretty sure was a first-generation, bought in the first month they were available PS3. I used it all the way until I was, like, 17, and it was still working, and it's now collecting dust in my closet. And if I plugged it in and booted it up, it's back in Florida, it probably still works. I did play Little Big Planet on it. I don't remember much about it, but that was one of the games on it. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But I've never been much of a console guy. Around 11 years old, 10 years old, I got my hands on computers. At first, it was, like, very tenuous. Like, I'd be able to, for a few hours a night when my mom had gone to bed, before my bedtime, I could play on her computer and watch YouTube and maybe play Roblox. And then eventually I got, like, my stepdad's mom's old desktop PC, and then I'd play Roblox and stuff on that, but we didn't have internet. We didn't have internet, but I had a computer, so here was our workaround. My mom had this dish, this little USB plug-in satellite dish that could pick up on nearby Wi-Fi signals very weakly. And if I plugged that into her laptop or that desktop I ended up getting, then I could very faintly pick up on a nearby restaurant where I lived then's public Wi-Fi. And it was strong enough to watch YouTube and play Roblox on when I was like 10. And so, because my mom would always be using it during the day, I'd literally become nocturnal during the summer, so that I'd wake up at sunset or like around the time my mom would be going to bed, and then I could take the dish, plug it into my computer, like play all night, and then when the sun came up and I was getting sleepy, I'd leave the dish by the door for when my mom would like wake up so she could take it, and we just had a system where I'd leave the dish right there by her door to grab when she wakes up and wants internet, and I would just sleep all day until it's time for her to go to bed. And that was what I would do during the summer back then. But yeah, I don't know. Like once I got a PC, and then eventually when I got internet, and as I was like able to upgrade my computer over time, it's just the blaring obviousness of PC being the superior platform for everything just kind of blares, and you can't really go back. Like I pretty much just have a PS5 for console exclusives because I like their exclusives, but I'm happy to say that the concept of exclusives is also dying off, which means pretty soon the only point of having a console is going to be portability and convenience. And even then, like, consoles are not that much more convenient than a PC. Have you seen Billions? A good take on corporate greed? No, I haven't seen that. No, but I am like legitimately PC master race, and I see people in my chat from time to time that that try to like do console apologetics. It's not even that consoles are bad or that it's bad to use a console instead of a PC. It's that you should be willing to acknowledge that the platform you're using is not the superior one, if it is factually objectively true. And it is provably true that PC is superior in several categories, from cost to the things it's capable of doing, to the versatility that it has, to the upgradability, to the customizability, the personalization, the fact that just having a PC doesn't mean you just have a gaming station. You now have a workstation for a variety of jobs. If you have if you have a powerful gaming PC, that opens you up to being able to do software, like, engineering jobs, where you have to do, like, CAD programming, where you have to, like 3D design structures in CAD software. Like, if you have a good gaming PC, then you've got a PC capable of doing that. So a good gaming PC is so powerful, it trivializes any other work that you could get out of it. Not only that, but have you ever, like, stumbled across a gaming stream being done by a console streamer? Like a smaller console streamer, where it's like they've got the red default PlayStation or Xbox, like, viewer count in the top right, and, like, the console, like, default chat. Like, when you watch a stream someone's doing from a console, it's awful. The quality is awful. The layout is awful. It's literally horrible when you watch a stream done from a console, usually. With, like, a good capture card and a PC attached to it, you can get good stuff from a console. So, like, if you watch, like, a big streamer, for example, or a YouTuber streaming or recording a game that's exclusive, they will always, 99.9% of the time, have that console plugged into their PC via a HDMI or, it's not HDMI anymore, DisplayPort cable into a capture card, usually like an Elgato, and then that will be going into OBS, through which is streaming from their computer. So the console is doing the playing, but the PC is doing the streaming, because it is just objectively ideal to make content and stream through the PC. And on top of that, the existence of PC and having one means that you can consolidate your games and actually own them. You don't own them physically, but you can own them on a physical drive. When you have a PC, literally, let me see, I think I have one around here somewhere. Yeah, I have one right there. I got this for storing videos on. I was doing my FF14 video that sadly got canceled due to me literally losing a bunch of the footage due to corruption, which I literally couldn't get back, but it wasn't this thing's fault, it turns out. I thought it was this thing's fault, but I can gladly say it wasn't now, so I do endorse this. This is a hard drive. This is like 4 terabytes of storage. All you have to do is plug this in via USB to your computer, and you've got like a portable plug-and-play additional 4 terabytes of storage. You can fill this up with TV shows and movies and shit, and then plug this into your laptop when you're on the road trip, or your PC when you don't have internet, and you can have terabytes of TV shows and movies to watch if like your like internet goes out or something like that. You can even store it digitally in the cloud as well. But I think that being able to have like solid storage of your games and stuff is always nice. Yeah. Oh, I pirate shit sometimes in Minecraft and Sea of Thieves. We love pirating in those games, don't we, chat? Okay. Enough fooling around. There we go. Nice, nice. Now let me just grab the video here. Nice. Let me shrink it down a little bit more. There we go. Cool, cool. All right. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1. Action. All right, everybody. So, recently, some big shit happened in the mainstream YouTube content creation sphere that ended up being really big drama because there just happens to be a pretty right-leaning bias in this particular issue in the larger internet space. It's unfortunate, but I think it's pretty indisputable. I think that most of you guys could probably agree that for the most part, the normie internet tends to be a little transphobic. The political ideas that they believe in the less lefty political side of the internet on trans people and whatnot can be very hit or miss. And the drama that ended up blowing up wasn't really even drama. It was simply an influential person being realized to be trans and then coming out publicly about it. So the person in question is Chris Tyson. This is both, basically the name's pronunciation hasn't changed, but the spelling has. For those that are curious why I'm using that name, if you're aware that, yeah, anyway. I don't need to get hung up in the weeds here. My point is that Chris Tyson came out as trans, and the internet blew up with discourse about it. Now, obviously, you've got lefties and progressives online who are, responding positively and, very supportively, right? I've made several videos defending Chris from videos much like the one we're about to react to, where conservative demagogues attempt to try to twist some narrative about Chris being awful and selfish and in some way a bad person and lacking moral character for being trans. They usually like to argue somehow it's selfish to Chris's family, and then they'll argue that's like why Chris and her wife got divorced, or her ex-wife got divorced. Frankly, their relationship isn't any of our business, and it is somewhat common for established relationships to end after one party comes out as trans, but that doesn't mean either person's lives has gotten worse. And in most cases, I mean, if you look at the statistics for the rates of, like, lowering suicide ideation and depression in trans people, it's very clear that actually it probably makes both parties happier to not have one person pretending to be somebody that they're not, and for the relationship to continue going on when it's not when either party is happy. And I'd say that amicably ending the relationship and then they're still being friends, because from what we know publicly, Chris Tyson still sees her kid plenty and like still visits her ex-wife plenty and is around and stuff. And not only that, but another big conspiracy theory that conservatives started pushing around was the idea that MrBeast, who, if you're unaware, Chris Tyson is a friend of MrBeast, that MrBeast is just secretly afraid of getting canceled for not supporting Chris and is just biding his time until he can fire Chris and get away with it. Which is an interesting conspiracy theory. They also try to argue that Chris hasn't been in MrBeast videos, and so Chris has already been fired. And then, like, literally a week after that drama blew up, MrBeast uploaded a video that was literally titled, like, staying in a $1 versus $10,000 hotel, I think it was. And in every single point in the video, it's like MrBeast and Chris and a bunch of their other friends traveling the world and staying in different hotels. And then when MrBeast is picking who stays in his room, he picks Chris to stay in his room for the night. So that, like, throws a pretty big wrench in the idea that MrBeast has become uncomfortable around Chris or something. So it's like, when you actually watch MrBeast's content, it is so clear that these bizarro conspiracy theories about how MrBeast is secretly not pro-trans, like he is said to be, they become more ridiculous. Chris has also gone publicly on the record to say MrBeast was one of the first people she ever came out to, and was, of course, accepting from literally, like, years and years and years ago. MrBeast has been, according to Chris, pro-trans for like, since before Gamergate. MrBeast has been aware of Chris questioning her sexuality and has been supportive, or sexuality and sex, sorry, gender, and has been supportive of it. So, like, yeah, to be fair, like, Chris and MrBeast are literally, like, childhood friends. They grew up in, like, bumpkin-ass southern, like, Southern America, you know? And they are literally, like, childhood friends from the South. They're, like, ride-or-die buddies, you know? So, yeah, like, North Carolina. So they are very much, like, longtime friends. And the fact that they're still friends bodes well for their continued friendship. But at the end of the day, all of this is, like, the most pointless drama ever. And the only reason anybody is talking about it is because there is a massive moral panic over the existence of trans people, and God forbid the existence of trans people being known by kids. And of course, MrBeast does have a pretty large audience of kids. And so the right, like, heavily has to damage control one of literally the most influential YouTuber in America, in the world, probably, being publicly and openly pro-trans, and not only that, but actively platforming, supporting, shouting out, and, you know, so on, a trans person who he has been friends with and continues to be friends with for literally, like, most of his life. It's just not a good look for the right. It hurts their culture war narrative they're trying to push, so they have been desperate to try to find a way to eke a win out of this, but it's basically just resulted in one of the biggest losing games of a culture war ever on YouTube. The vast majority of YouTube and YouTubers are pro MrBeast, so trying to make a video that criticizes or attacks MrBeast on its own is already a losing position to try to take online. And then on top of that, what these conservatives also don't realize is that MrBeast is mainstream popular, as in outside of the internet mainstream popular, which means his audience actually isn't very prone to conservative values. He does not have anything to gain from ambiguously keeping his politics up in the air a la PewDiePie in order to gain support from both the left and the right, because politics are ambiguous and nobody can really be offended or feel betrayed. But he doesn't do that. Like, MrBeast is just doing whatever. Yeah. Anyway, like, apparently Lauren Shen made a video about this whole Chris Tyson thing, and apparently it's very much copy and very mad, and she's desperately trying to eke out a win for the right, just like I mentioned before with this one. I haven't seen it, obviously. I don't generally pre-watch any content before I watch it on stream, and if I do, I tell you guys that if I have watched something and how much of it I saw. But yeah, let's get right into it, because I imagine this is going to be some pretty nuclear cringe, and the sooner we start, the sooner it'll be over.
Oh! She heard! Take a moment on that. Like, how does that feel, publicly saying in front of cameras that you
For the record, most conservative content online is devoid of any attempt to make an argument, and usually it just falls back on trying to splice together an attempt at a cringe compilation, and they'll just kind of use the implication of someone on the left or being, or like someone part of a minority group being cringe as an argument in and of itself, because the target demographic of these YouTubers unironically associate cringe with a moral failing.
You are a woman.
To even say it to some of the closest friends, it would make...
Also, this is an interview between MrBeast's best friend and Anthony Padilla, okay? I like, when you're making a propaganda political video and you're trying to attack Chris Tyson and Anthony Padilla, you're just losing. You're just picking a losing fight. You lost just by picking the fight. It's as simple as that. There was no reality in which you are able to look good. Your right-wing audience and the people who are brainwashed that believe this shit will, but like the average errant YouTube viewer who stumbled across a Sydney Watson video are not going to respond to this.
Make me like my hands shake to say it. I would get so nervous. But now I can say I'm a woman. I'm happy to say I'm a woman. It's something that's honestly so freeing, and I think that is part of what the HRT did for me, was being able to accept myself and being able to look in the mirror and say, yes, you are a woman.
So it turns out that the individual who left his child and his wife to play dress up and make believe.
So, okay, so we're just going straight into the like viciously insulting this person and claiming they're a piece of shit and like left their family. So the actual public knowledge that we have is that Chris Tyson and her ex-wife got an amicable divorce. They are still on speaking terms and spend time together regularly. Chris Tyson regularly posts photos of them together on her social media, including her Twitter, where it's like her kid and her ex-wife there. So it doesn't really seem like they have a bad relationship or it ended on bad terms. It seems more like a mutual understanding. Now, to be clear, Lauren Chen, I'm pretty sure, has said that she is not in favor of divorce being legal. If you guys are unaware, as of late, the right has gotten very mask off with their position on divorce, particularly if it's the woman initiating it and it's a no-fault divorce. They outright want to ban it. Just Pearly Things kind of really brought it into the sort of narrative, the discussion. And since Just Pearly Things made it like a popular talking point, the right overall online has started to embrace, maybe we should ban women from being able to get divorces. Yeah, Steven Crowder and the divorce he's going through was also a big spurning of this idea. So a few really big right-wing figures basically got fucked over in divorces, and rightly so. And some other figures started advocating for the banning of divorce, and so now people like Lauren Chen will literally just say divorce, and to a conservative audience, that is like saying murder. Hell, they do that with abortion too. They want you to hear the word abortion and hear the word murder instead of the word abortion. So yeah, they're pretty good at that.
Online for the congratulation of strangers. Yeah, it turns out that he is an even worse person than I would have thought, which is saying something. Yeah, let's talk about Chris Tyson. Now, Chris Tyson is someone you've probably heard of as one of the sidekicks attached to MrBeast, and MrBeast is, of course, the largest YouTube channel out there. With that said, though, Chris Tyson does have a channel and
I'm really curious how long a lot of these conservative figures making shit like... So the first person who did this and just got absolutely reamed out was Sunny V2. Sunny V2 made a video going after Chris after she came out, and the entire internet jumped down Sunny V2's throat. It was like the most validating moment ever, because I knew Sunny V2 was a piece of shit for a while and had made several videos on him before, and then like finally he did something so bad and so cringe that got so much attention that all of YouTube blew up. Now, Lauren Chen is a much more niche content creator than Sunny V2, so I'm curious when one of these conservatives gets one of their anti-MrBeast, anti-Chris Tyson videos so much attention that like Philip DeFranco covers it. Philip DeFranco covered the Sunny V2 thing, and like shit on Sunny V2 for that video. Like every big mainstream YouTube figure was shitting on Sunny V2 for that video. And I'm really curious to see what's going to happen when mainstream YouTube finds out about this contrived moral panic the right is trying to make over MrBeast's friend.
Popularity in his own right with millions of subscribers. You see, Chris has proven to be somewhat of a controversial figure, and not just for some dumb, stupid YouTube reason like, oh, he rapped the N-word as part of a song. No. You see, a little bit ago, Chris came out as trans, i.e. despite the fact that he is a male, he now identifies as being a woman. And even amongst people who support trans rights, this kind of raised eyebrows for a couple of reasons. Number one being that MrBeast and Chris himself, they have a very young audience. And clearly,
okay, I like how she said trans rights with like the quotes, so like trans rights is how she said it. But yeah, to be clear, these people are like publicly, openly, and proudly making tons of money on YouTube off of openly saying they are opposed to trans rights. They openly say they are opposed to trans rights. They openly say that, and YouTube's fine with it. They monetize it. They run the videos as ads on their platform. Do you know what the big turning point was, by the way, guys? The new YouTube CEO. For those of you guys who don't know, for the last 6 months or so, the CEO of YouTube has not been Susan Wojcicki. It has been this new guy who is a massive crypto NFT bro and has some really spotty political takes based on evidence from like past likes and posts. So it is very, very possible that the current CEO of YouTube has essentially Elon Musked it to a much lesser degree, and that's why we've seen essentially no action being taken against the blatant TOS breaking against right-wingers on YouTube as of late.
Despite what some activists might try to tell you, there are ethical implications of platforming someone to such a young audience who claims that gender is just whatever you feel. And not only that, but
so let's be very, very clear, by the way. The overwhelming consensus among the scientific, medical, and psychological community is that sex and gender are not the same thing, that gender is a social construct with no basis materially in your biology. Gender and your biology are not the same thing. However, your assigned gender at birth is usually correlated to your sex or your assigned sex at birth. Because, and I say usually because, there are tons of people who are born with non-typical sexual characteristics for a variety of reasons, most commonly because of any number of intersex chromosomal combinations. So this is another thing that the right will lie about you, or lie to you about. They will say that there is only one outcome, or two outcomes that can occur from like chromosomes, XX or XY. And XX makes you a woman, and XY makes you a man. When in reality, literally for as long as humans have been around, there have been intersex people who not only have pretty much unnoticeable physical characteristics due to having something that is not XX or XY chromosomes, but also have physical characteristics that are noticeable. Obviously, I think a lot of people are like aware of people who are born with like both types of genitalia and stuff like that. It's not like an unheard of thing, but conservatives want you to turn your brain off and just sort of assume that the world is the simple, straightforward fantasy that they're trying to make in your head, because it's easier for them to sell you on this worldview.
Chris has come out and explicitly endorsed cross-sex hormone treatment for minors, which, by the way, is something that is now being banned in European countries.
So things getting banned in countries that are politically opposed to trans people is not an argument in favor of banning the thing, particularly when the experts of all of these medical and scientific associations are actively speaking out against these countries and these state governments that are banning these medical treatments. Literally yesterday, we watched Jon Stewart do a fantastic debate with one of the legislators of Arkansas, and she was there blustering, trying to say, well, we got experts who have big concerns about allowing children to access this. And Jon Stewart's like, who are these experts? Because I've got a list here of an overwhelming consensus of scientific data that backs up that these kids should have access to these treatments, that the doctors agree on it, there's a medical guideline for it, and you are desperately trying to argue right now through lies that your experts, who you can't name, and your organizations that you can't name, know better than the consensus. That's pretty much their argument. They're pretending and bluffing when they pretend as though there is any level of facts or logic that backs up any of their arguments. Listen, guys, I used to be transphobic. Okay? I was once a believer in all the stupid dog shit these people peddle, and eventually I ended up being tricked, effectively, into doing research on these topics, whether it be through meeting people in games that were trans and just, like, ending up becoming friends with them and, like, talking to them and like, learning about that shit. And then eventually I became, like, informed enough that I was able to argue against transphobia online. The type of propaganda people like Lauren Chen push necessitates a void of information in the minds of her audience that you can't bring back once that void's been filled. So this is a big part of why I knew, like, right away that Anna Kasparian was a grifter. To believe the batshit insane stuff that she's now peddling requires a void of knowledge and a presence of ignorance that we know, due to Anna Kasparian's past advocacy, that she does not have. We know for a fact she knows better, and there's nothing that could have been done that would have, like, erased the knowledge we know she has from her mind to justify the takes she's been making as being honest. In that same way, once you've educated people on these topics, or people have been exposed to the reality of these topics, the propaganda and the false narrative that conservatives like Lauren Chen, who are paid so much money to push lies, rely on, no longer works. Because you can't take away the knowledge that this propaganda relies on not existing in somebody's mind. That makes sense.
Obviously is not a great look, but to top it off, Chris is also someone who previously was married and does have a child with his ex-wife. And I know that we're living in an era when the most popular advice out there is just to live your truth, pursue your own happiness, do whatever makes you.
Yeah, so this is just her, like, being in favor of banning divorce and stuff. A lot of most conservative pundits now on YouTube are towing the divorce should be illegal, especially if it's a woman trying to do no-fault divorce, and especially if they have a kid. They're like, they've really gotten big on the banning divorce thing. So we might see that actually become the next thing on the table, or one of the next things on the table. Like, they went after Roe v. Wade and everything. They've indicated they're going after gay marriage next. So what I think would be next on the chopping block is divorce. Obviously, this would be the Republicans nuking their popularity, but when has, like, popularity ever stopped the Republicans from advocating for a horrific idea? Or unpopularity, I should say.
You feel good, but still, I feel like you've got to be a pretty cold-hearted person, and yes, a narcissist, to abandon the life you built with your wife, the person you made vows with.
There's been no abandonment, by the way. But basically what she's arguing right now is that divorce is, like, immoral, and you are immoral if you get a divorce. This is literally, like, this isn't even, like, a video focused on transphobia. The transphobia is more so a, like, a side dish to the meat of her point, which is, if you get a divorce, you are a bad person. They've been very open lately about how in favor they are of banning divorce. The fuck is that? Mossy stone. Huh.
In order to pursue whatever sense of gender identity you're feeling at the moment. In any case, this whole controversy with Chris has been going on for quite a while. It's not
They like to do that as well. Right-wingers, instead of actually making an argument, so something you'll notice is she'll never actually cite an institution that believes what she says. Like, I can list the American Psychoanalytic Association, the American Psychological Association, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the United Nations Health Standards, the United Kingdom's NHS. Like, there are literally countless organizations I can list off the top of my head that I know for a fact back up the ideas that I have said in this stream about trans people and the nature of sex and gender. She will not be able to list one. When right-wingers actually find a study that they can maybe twist into being anti-trans, it always ends up blowing up in their faces. You can actually see a few instances of this on my channel. Recently, Matt Walsh and a few other of the Daily Wire goons tried to post a study that they claimed was backing up their idea that like being trans was contagious, and they cut up a few screenshots of like a few sentences from the study and posted it on Twitter, and the authors of the study like literally called them out, or called Matt Walsh out and was like, yo, you're lying. And of course he didn't recant anything. These people never recant their misinfo, but like there have been countless instances of right-wingers having their evidence, quote unquote, debunked by the people who produced the evidence, because they literally cannot find a single study or piece of data that backs up any of the extremely harsh and strong positions they have on trans people. That's the fact of it, by the way. Conservatives have such a strong position on trans people. The argument they're trying to make is in itself really hard to prove compared to the argument the left is trying to make. The left simply argues that there is a statistical, inarguable fact that gender transition helps people with gender dysphoria. The right is trying to argue a massive conspiracy narrative that is literally impossible to prove with studies. So, like, there's just no reality where they can actually substantiate their beliefs.
Not necessarily new news, but Chris was once more trending on social media because he recently appeared on the Anthony Padilla podcast. I don't know. This is another one of those YouTubers who is very large, but who I have absolutely no familiarity with. To not only affirm,
like, it really is embarrassing. It really is embarrassing how little she realizes that she's, like, wading into the cringe zone right now, as far as, like, every YouTube viewer. Like, that's literally Anthony from Smosh. That guy literally formed an entire generation. Like, if she is trying to get Zoomers to watch her content, she alienated so many Zoomers with that statement there. The amount of Zoomers who got alienated by her, like, hand-waving Anthony Padilla, like, it's Jover. I think it's important for us to look at instances where the right completely falls flat on their messaging, to try to pull in young people to the right. You'll also notice that lately, the right's actually kind of moving away from trying to convince young people to vote Republican and to be more conservative. I don't know if you've noticed it lately, but instead of trying, like, the right is now going against people like Andrew Tate and whatnot. Like, they're no longer sitting idly by and allowing them to be useless or useful puppets. They're actively, like, infighting against the types of figures who have very effectively radicalized young people, particularly young men to the right before. Because what I think's happening now is the right's just given up on trying to radicalize young people and is now just trying to further radicalize the already established conservative base. Instead, what they're trying to do is advocate for things such as voter suppression. A big popular take with a lot of Republicans lately has been that we should ban anyone under the age of 25 from voting. They want to raise the minimum voting age to 25 unless you can pass, like, tests or you've done military service or you're a first responder or something. And the reason for this, the reason they want to ban people under 25 from voting in elections is because young people don't vote Republican. So the Republicans' solution to that is to ban young people from voting. Just make it illegal. And it's like, okay, there, problem solved.
confirm that he in fact is a woman and discuss his experience with transitioning genders, but also to reveal that his name will now, drumroll, be Chris Tyson, but with a K. And I know there's a good chance that a lot of you—
By the way, these are the same people who, in lieu of an argument, will try to argue, or will just pretend as though pronouns and names are too hard to keep track of, so they'll perform confusion when referring to a trans person. Like, we'll probably get it at some point in this video. Like, they'll refer to a trans person, and they'll go, he, she, it, them, whatever, or something like that. How many times have you seen that? And they know what the preferred pronouns are. They know what the original pronouns are. So it's not even them just trying to misgender. It's them unable to make an argument, so they're just pretending that they're exasperated by how complicated these pronouns are. Because that's literally all they have, is like this implication that these lefties are so crazy and they're asking so much of you, like narcissists, by asking that you be polite and use the name and pronouns that they would prefer you to, which is not even a standard that is like unreasonable. The only reason why people say it is unreasonable is because they don't view said trans people as valid. They're transphobic. But then they get mad if you say they are, because obviously bigots don't want to be called out blatantly as being bigots.
You don't care about or are not familiar with any of the people involved in this conversation, but at the time that I'm filming this video has been out for around a day, and
is she seriously saying to her, like, comparatively tiny ass fucking audience that they probably don't care about Anthony Padilla or Chris Tyson or MrBeast? I don't know. Maybe they really are just, like, giving up on trying to convince Zoomers to be Nazis. For those that don't know, Lauren Chen is like a open white nationalist too. Like, she's not just like a, she's like, I think she's full on Jewish questioned before on her show. She's not just like a moderate conservative or whatever, or like a chud anti-SJW. She's like, she's done the whole like it's okay to be white thing. She did a whole like video thing defending the alt-right neo-Nazi group that put up the "It's okay to be white" stickers all over Australia or whatever. Yeah, no, full on Nazi shit. Hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, here should be diamond depth.
it already has 830,000 views, so I think it's safe to say that, yeah, this is culturally relevant, which is too bad because in this interview, Chris makes several revelations about himself that honestly are just awful and reek of a lack of morality, but because we live in
so I'm curious to see how she is going to try and make the argument that the left is simultaneously the artificially inflated, not really as popular as it looks. The right are the underdogs, they're the silent majority, but also this video is super culturally relevant. We live in 2023, and the youth is being corrupted overwhelmingly by this culture that is everywhere of divorce or whatever, and women's rights.
2023, Chris, for displaying some of the worst ethical and rational standards imaginable under the guise of being trans, he's actually being celebrated for this. Yeah, so I thought we should take the time to unpack it all, but before we do, I want to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, Patriot Gold. There's a lot of economic and financial
Do you remember during the RNC when they were like shilling this company? The company for buying gold? It's almost, yeah, they've really gotten into shilling gold lately. You know, that's actually really good evidence for what my point, that they're moving away from shilling to the left these days, or to kids. Their advertisements at the RNC, the sponsorships lately are for like golf and like male vitality pills for middle-aged men and buying gold. I think it's very clear that they're actively, and even the Daily Wire, I think they're starting to give up on trying to convince Gen Z to vote Republican and instead are trying to just secure their current boomer base and convince them to vote Republican enough that they can maybe get a ban passed somewhere for people under 25 to vote in elections. Yeah, no, gold investing is very much an old person thing. That is like... These companies know what the audience is, that, like, I don't know if you guys know this, but like I'm a YouTuber. I get sponsorship offers literally many times a day. They're usually from like really shady links, so I don't even click on them because that's how your channel gets stolen, by the way. Like for those that don't know, if you've ever seen one of those channels that gets like hacked and then turned into a Tesla Elon Musk bot channel, that's because a YouTuber you watch that or are subscribed to clicked on a sponsorship email that actually like insta downloads a software on your computer that like Trojans you and gets your login info. So yeah, literally all it takes to get your account hacked is to click on like a link in your email as a YouTuber. You got to be really careful and screen those things well. Yeah, like these sponsorship companies know what audience watches your content. They do vigorous research on like whether or not your channel fits their branding and their demographic, and they will not keep a contract up with you if you're not having good results that they expect with your contract with them. So this company knows that Lauren Chen's audience is mostly conservative boomer, like older men, which honestly doesn't surprise me. Like, I feel like a lot of, like, libertarian dudes probably watch Lauren Chen for no particular reason. Okay, do you think we could stop here? Do we have to continue watching after she drops the gold sponsorship? For those that don't know, like, literally no conservative video I've ever seen has had anything substantial to say or argue against after they put the sponsorship in. Every conservative video like this is just a bid to, like, get enough video in that they can squeeze the sponsorship in midway through and then also get mid-roll ads. That's literally all these conservative figures care about when they upload their videos. Yeah, I think we've heard enough. Basically, overall, they've gone from MrBeast is, like, secretly transphobic like them, but has to hide it, to MrBeast is now supporting it, to MrBeast actually fired Chris behind the scenes, but that didn't actually end up being the case, to now coping with whatever arguments they can make about how Chris existing in MrBeast videos is a moral bad thing, but they don't have anything, there's no win for them in this. Like, they can just, you know, be angry and transphobic if they want to, but there's no point in the video where they get an epic own, you know? Like, usually with conservative content coverage, they like to try to go, and then the woke movie, bombed because it's woke. Heh, epic own on the lefties. But there's no epic own on the lefties moment in this for Lauren Chen. This is, like, objectively an L for the right, through and through. And that's basically what the video's about, is how much of an L this is for the right. So it just feels so uncharacteristic for conservative content, because usually they're desperately trying to make themselves seem like the silent majority.
Uncertainty right now.
Oh yeah, we're done. I forgot we finished the video. Well, that was god awful, which wasn't really unexpected, to be fair. Hell yeah. I feel like that segment came out pretty damn good. Let me hear your thoughts in chat, guys. I like to hear what y'all have to say. Is that slime? Huh. Maybe this just means I'm in a slime chunk. But no, because... That's weird that slime's dripping there. I don't know why that's a thing. Any extra gold? Any extra gold hiding from me? Sometimes the veins can be fucky. Also, Lauren's views are down hard. Oh yeah, no, she's tanked lately. I do think that we are starting to see the turnaround that I'd been talking about for a while now. Like, I'm starting to notice conservative content is not growing as much as it used to, and I've also noticed that a lot of lefty channels have started to grow more than usual. A lot of that's got to be the election coming up too, and Trump, like, making the right look so bad right now, and the right making themselves look so bad right now. I've noticed my viewership going up, I've noticed, I think Vosh's viewership has gone up. I've noticed, like, Destiny's viewership go up. I've noticed Demon Mama and Keffel's viewership go up. And I've noticed a lot of conservative viewership across the board drop or just kind of stagnate and slow down. So it really does seem like we're getting into that very tangible time of things starting to turn the other direction, back towards the left. And it always has been that way, and it probably will be that way for a while, where culturally, insofar as the discourse and the culture war online, the right and the left will, like, swing back and forth between having, like, the upper hand or the lower hand. But I don't think that will correlate necessarily to real-life political, like, control each election, you know? I don't think that, like, there's going to be another Gamergate tier event that actually has the effect of getting a Trump-like figure elected. I don't think that'll happen again. At least not anytime soon. I may change my take if I start to see things move in the other direction, but right now the Republicans aren't doing they're just not doing well. Oh, I can save my stuff. My stuff is okay. It's okay. It's okay. That's my first death. That death was pretty much unavoidable, though. There was no way to know the skeleton was there and it was going to knock me in the lava. And once I was in the lava, there was no way to survive. So I can't be too upset. Not to fact check you, but you were the one claiming there might be a second Gamergate. I should ban you right now for how wrong you are. Because not only was I correct about saying there was going to be a second Gamergate, but I've also been saying for literally like a year now that said second Gamergate era I've been predicting is going to come to an end. So no, this is actually me being correct over again, smartass. I should shit talk some of my viewers more often. You guys tend to get a little too audacious sometimes. Not those of you in chat who are based and don't post cringe in my chat. You guys don't need to get bullied. But those of you guys who do, you deserve to get bullied. And most of you guys who do that are also bottoms, so you probably like it anyway. I swear to God, there's like a bunch of lefty bottoms in my audience that purposefully try to piss me off in chat, so I'll yell at you. And you're like, oh yeah, yell at me some more, Zan. I'm pretty sure that's what's going on. Son of a bitch. It's still there. He's still here. Just walk into the lava. Alright, I've got a solution to this. There we go. There we go. The pathing could be a little weird in old Minecraft. Sometimes you could get them to walk off a cliff, but you'd have to, like, strafe a little bit to get it to happen. Now, that was a lot of skeletons, which means, yeah, either big cave or a dungeon. That's what I thought. Nice. Oh, burning creeper. Nice. Oh, well, that was a lighting error. I'm going to get to the next segment in just a minute. I just want to light this area up a little bit because, you know, I don't want to die. I like not dying when I play video games. It's actually pretty cool when you don't die in the game. It's one of my favorite things. Creeper. Oh, man. All right. Let's get the next segment ready. By the way, if you're watching right now and you want to support the stream, remember, I am currently saving up for the moving fund and the quail fund. Right now, I am set to move out of my current place at the end of December. So I gotta find a place and get it before December, the end of December. So I'm currently raising money for that. And then also, after the move, come spring, we'll be doing the quail. The quail arc will start in spring. This coming spring. Because I'll have a place with a nice backyard and a whole lot of room, and I'll be able to get an incubator and start doing my quail content. Quail? Oh my god, we have people here who don't know about the quail content. Oh bro, 400 viewers and only 200 likes? True! Why have so few of you liked the stream? Do something about that. Hit that like button. Nah, Q Holmes. You gotta have a rough and firm hand with your chatters, okay? I have to mold you guys like clay into the perfect chat. I kind of want to put quail in the rundown shed in my backyard. Needs some work, but I could. It needs work for sure, because if snakes and, like, neighborhood cats and stuff can get in there, they will slaughter your quail in one night. Someone on in Twitch chat just came in and said, streaming to 8 people on Twitch, lol, this dude is done. I really do love that we get, like, it's one of my favorite things about streaming to YouTube and Twitch is that occasionally we get some sad dumb fuck who thinks they got one over. And says, huh, only 8 viewers on Twitch, and doesn't know I have like 430 more on YouTube, and I'm just playing a game. I'm not even doing, like, hardcore politics segments. Remember, guys, if you ever get into making content, you're always going to have deranged, dumb fuck haters trying to, like, get you down. And they will always be deranged in their hate towards you. Like, they will say, this is why you only have 60,000 subscribers. This is only why you have 70,000 subscribers. This is why you only have 80,000 subscribers. And they'll keep doing that. Like, you'll literally have people in your chat or in your, like, comment section that'll be returning hate commenters that'll, like, say, this is why you only have blank amount of subs, and it'll just, the number will just keep going up. Just every time, it'll just keep going up as your channel grows. So never let those people get you down. Just laugh at them for how wrong they are. And you just know that person, now that they've gotten called out and have seen the reality of it, are, like, super fucking mad. Because they came in and they're like, oh, I'm going to get this epic own on the streamer that I hate, who I think is, like, a dying channel, only gets 8 viewers. But in reality, they're just streaming Minecraft to, like, over 400 people, casually. So, yeah. Rough scene for hate commenter. By the way, I'm ready to get raided into whenever you're done streaming. Okay. I'm gonna be live for a little while longer, but after stream, I'm gonna be watching Breaking Bad with my friends on Discord. So I'll probably end stream... Oh my god, more diamond! Holy shit! I'll probably end stream at, like... I went live at 4, I've been live for 2 hours. I'll probably end stream in about 2 hours. Maybe a little less. Maybe like an hour and a half. Whoa! Drop down on me like fucking Batman. I don't know how that creeper blew up on me, though. I feel like I was pretty far from it. But it didn't really hurt me. So it's not a big deal, but still. No, cats are a serious threat to birds. Do not say that. Do not have outside cats. If you're in chat unironically trying to argue that, like, domestic and stray cats that are left outside are not a threat to birds, then you are, like... I guess you're, like, a coping outdoor cat owner. Because, like, no, having outdoor cats is, like, super objectively immoral. Cats, like, if you have your cat outdoors or you have, like, stray cats, they're invasive, they're an invasive predator, and they contribute a lot to, like, straight up the endangerment and extinction of tons of bird species. Yeah, Australia has, like, big problems with that, too. Yeah, you're completely right, Minimum Volts. I mean, the British already came and, like, killed most of the birds in Australia and New Zealand before the penal colony of a country was even established, you know? So it was already a problem. And then you guys waged a war and lost a war against birds as, like, a karmic justice type thing, so... So it's a very, like, deep history. The Emu War. Remember, because they're Australians, it's not the Emu War, it's the Emu War. Because they say emu. Right, that's an emu. This is my go-to topic if you ever need to start a public argument. I don't think I need to have a debate on this, but, like, I do think it is cope if you say cats don't actually cut. Because, like, literally my uncle had an issue when he was raising quail with a cat that was trying to get into his coop and would actively have, like, bent and fucked up the wire each day, and he'd have to, like, replace the wire after a week because the cat would make more progress getting in each night. I know, I'm very aware of the actual history of the Great Emu War, okay? You don't need to explain it. Everybody who makes fun of Australia for it is very aware, and we still make fun of you guys for it anyway, because it's funny. We like to joke and imply that it was the entire military force and all of the arms and military funding of Australia versus emus, and emus won in a landslide. That's the joke, and you will have to accept that as the joke forever. I'm trying to defend my people. There are still 70,000 kiwi birds left? That's cool. I like that. Nice, 17 diamonds. Hot damn. I'm a Minecraft god. Alright, I'm gonna go to the surface, smelt some stuff up, make some diamond tools, and then we'll come back down. We probably wouldn't have landlords if the emus were given rule over our land. I feel like the emus would just have a policy of pecking your eyeballs out or something. They're not known to be the most friendly birds, for those of you guys unaware. Like, as much of a meme as it is, like, the emus could literally, like, tank, like, 4 or 5 5.56 rounds, and just run off to go bleed out and die elsewhere. But they could take several, like, rounds of 5.56 and still keep going. I'm pretty sure that's what they were shooting the emus with, too. 5.56, right? If it wasn't 5.56, it was 7.62, which is even stronger. It might have been 7.62. And it was through a belt-fed machine gun mounted on a Jeep that 4 guys were operating. They were using 5.56 and 7.62? Yeah, those birds were literal tanks. They were Lewis guns? I'm not familiar with the Lewis gun. If I saw it, I'd recognize it in, like a second, but I don't know it by the name. I'm not enough of a gun nut that I know, like, every historical gun model and name, like, visually just by the name, you know? Unfortunate. Cassowaries are scary as fuck? Yeah, they are. Alright, it's time for the next segment now, though. Oh, it's a World War I LMG? Then I'd probably recognize it then. Is it the one with, like, the barrel type magazine that snaps onto the top? Like, it's like a round barrel type magazine, goes on the top, and it looks almost like alien compared to modern day gun designs, like the disc mag. Yeah! Yep, okay, I know exactly then. Okay, apparently I do know guns well enough that I was able to guess. Okay. When you realize you know guns better than you even thought. Yeah, it's that fat water-cooled disc barrel magazine gun. Yep. Yeah, I know the one. I'm pretty sure you could use it in Battlefield 1. Yeah, Pillow. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was in Battlefield 1, yeah. Yeah, the Star Wars blasters are based on like World War I era guns, like the original trilogy blasters with their little like side inserting magazine. That was very common in like European produced machine guns in World War I. Little bit in World War II. By World War II, we're getting a little bit more modern with our gun layout generally. Like, magazines were mostly going in through the bottom, or you had stripper clips going into the top sometimes, but mostly it was, like, under the gun-fed mags. And obviously by Vietnam, like, the rifles they were using then, for the most part, look a lot like the ones we use today. World War II had strippers? Nah, stripper clips. A stripper clip is a little, like, strip of metal that you, let me see if, like, imagine it's this lighter, but it has, like, a ridge that comes around, and it's hollow, so you can take rounds, like, I think I have, like, an empty... I gotta pull, my shell casing fell in the dust of my incense, so it's a little dusty, but, like, you would take your round, it wouldn't look anything like this, but you would, like, slot it down in, and you would stack them on top of each other, so that you would have, like, a clip, not a magazine, a clip of rounds, and certain rifles, usually, you could just, like, push all the rounds in off the strip, straight into the, well, magazines are more like a Pez dispenser than stripper clips are, but you would just push them all down on, like, a rail into the magazine in the gun. Because, like, for example, the Garand uses stripper clips, and it has an internal magazine. The magazine is, like, part of the gun. And so you use, like, I'm pretty sure every magazine has a clip in it. But, like, the functionality of one. But basically what you're doing is you're creating a rail, a portable rail that you can just kind of push the rounds into the magazine, into the chamber with. Wait, the Grand uses N block clips? EN block clips? Oh. Well, I haven't shot a Grand yet, so I've just seen them using clips. So yeah. I know that you can use stripper clips with the Mosin, though. I know that for a fact. I have shot a Mosin, and I've seen people use stripper clips with them. Hyper's in chat if you've shot a Mosin. It's so fun. It's probably the most fun gun I've shot ever. Because it just ka-chunks. It just goes ka-chunk. You guys haven't? There's got to be one person in chat who has. Anyone in chat who has, you can confirm alongside me. It's got a really satisfying ka-chunk. Oh yeah, Ryan Roottree knows. Yeah, Shaloon can confirm. Okay, cool. Pog. I'm an SKS girl. I have based. I want to shoot an SKS so bad. I want to shoot basically every, like, Soviet and World War II era, like, rifle that you could get in DayZ. Like, all of those I want to shoot at least once. Alright, let me get the next segment up. Alrighty. Remember, guys, if you want to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting a like, donating, subscribing, or gifting a sub on my website, or supporting me through YouTube, Twitch, Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Patreon. It's always appreciated. You know, it helps out a lot. If it weren't for you guys' direct support, I wouldn't be able to do this for a living. Alright. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. All right, everybody. So we're back. We're back covering the quartering. Now, I'm pretty sure the last time I responded to him was when he made a video that was like a pathetic Elon Musk dick riding video where he was like, I think he was begging Elon Musk to unban somebody, or I think he was begging Elon Musk not to appoint someone else as the CEO. But like, the Quartering has done like full-on, nearly crying meltdown videos about how he doesn't want Elon Musk to stop being the guy who controls Twitter or whatever. He legitimately seems to have like a very strong emotional stake in whether or not Elon Musk gets the dub out of this, much like many of the other Elon Musk stands. But that doesn't change my opinion of him being a grifter who doesn't believe half the shit that he says on his channel. I think he does support Elon Musk in the way that he says he does, but I think it's because Elon Musk's free speech absolutist, quote unquote, though he's not very pro free speech considering the fact that like lefties get banned off of Twitter for anything now. You know, like literally anything, even if it's not against the TOS at this point. So it really is just blatant right-wing favorability. So that's beneficial to people like the Quartering, so he's in favor of it. But now apparently he's against Elon Musk. This video is him supposedly calling out Elon Musk and not being in favor of him anymore, which is just unheard of. When you think about the fact that literally just a few months ago, I would say that the Quartering was the biggest mainstream Elon Musk dick rider there was. So it's pretty interesting. For those that don't know, this guy is like a massive right-wing figure. I'd be surprised if many of you don't know who he is, but he's a massive right-wing figure. He's super shameless. He basically just uploads like 20 videos a day about everything being woke, like any new popular thing being woke, hoping to be able to capitalize off of like being the one guy who's hating a popular piece of media or being one of many people in a big trend of hating on a piece of media. Either way, he wins, arguably. And he makes a lot of money off of it. There's a lot of money in doing this type of content, right? Like, even for proportional size. I feel like the best piece of evidence for that is, like I feel like the best piece of evidence for how much money there is in doing the right-wing grift, which is an important factor to consider when we talk about people like this, like how much of a motive there is to make content like this. Like, just now, I got the first $5 donation of the stream. And this isn't me complaining. But like, I've got 400 viewers, and that was the first dono of the stream. That's not really unheard of for lefty content creators. That's not unusual. Like that amount of donos for that amount of viewers is not unusual for lefty content creators. But when you watch right-wing content creators, they've got way more money, both in ad revenue and in viewer support. The big part of this is because there's just more money in the idea of pushing lies to people instead of the truth. There's no money in spreading the truth. Like, the kind of shit I tell you guys you can find on, like, the fucking DSM-5. Nothing I'm telling you is original. I'm just repeating what experts are saying. There's no money in that. There's no... That's what every lefty figure worth their salt should be doing, by the way, is just repeating what experts are saying. There's no money in repeating what experts are saying to an audience that already knows. And that is why conservative figures like the Quartering are able to generate so much revenue and so much social power off of this grifty right-wing content. They also make content that's, like, very much, like, leave on in the background fodder, I think. Like, I have a feeling that most of you guys probably listen to my stuff in the background, but a lot of you are actively, like, engaged with it, way more so than most right-wing figures. I feel like they're relying mostly off of people just playing their content in the background. And the Quartering is, like, so shameless about it, too. I remember the first time I ever covered him on my channel. It was, like, just such a standout moment where he started, like, his 500th video on Brie Larson with a, like, it was a little skit where it's him, like, scrolling through Twitter and he sees the news about Brie Larson getting cast in, like, a new Marvel project. And then it cuts to him looking up how much it costs to get an above-ground swimming pool or a below-ground swimming pool installed in your backyard. And it ends with him being like, hoo, looks like I'm getting that swimming pool I always wanted. Thank you, Brie Larson. Like, he will openly start his videos with, like, a little skit about how much of a money-grubbing grifter he is that's just trying to monetize hate for, like, a female actor as much as possible. So, yeah, he's quite pathetic. But very wealthy. Keep that in mind. Very wealthy, very influential. He actually owns his own company and is, like, pretty high up in several other companies. Like, if this guy's YouTube channel went belly up today, he would be set for life financially because he basically is the CEO of multiple companies at this point. He's branched out and started businesses, so he is set for life now.
Now, remember when Elon Musk, everybody...
Keep that in mind, by the way, as you watch this extremely uncharismatic, boring grifter rake in more unimaginable wealth from this video alone. Like, the amount of money that he's going to make from this video alone is probably more than most of you make in a month. Like, knowing how you... Like, let me see how many views this has. 60,000 views. That's actually not that much. With 60,000 views... This video is probably making more than most of you guys make in a week, realistically. That's probably that's a pretty good approximation. So keep that in mind, and that's something you should remember when you watch these grifter content creators, because you should be angry. You should be motivated to fight against the shit they spread and be angry by the fact that not only are they spreading misinfo, but they are living an unimaginably luxurious life while doing so, because they are doing so, one that you will likely never be able to have access to.
You know, people get mad at me because I've been critical of him in stark contrast to covering him so positively. But I'm just trying to be fair and balanced. And I remember being extremely excited when Elon Musk bought Twitter.
Why did my fireflies go away? Is it not dark enough or something? Why? I placed a bunch of fireflies in jars and then broke the jars to let them out, and they were out for like a night. And then I relogged and now they're gone. Are they like not permanent? That really sucks if they're not permanent. That really, really sucks if the fireflies aren't permanent.
Thought he was going to finally unlock it. He was finally going to make it available for everybody. And he was going to get rid of the stupid shadow bans and the deboosting and all this stuff. Well, it's been about a year, I believe. And he's done none of that.
Wait! He's melting down because Elon hasn't done enough to make the platform favor conservatives. For those that don't know, lately the right has actually, like, been attacking Elon Musk for not giving them enough preferential treatment. I believe it was Cat Turd that started this. Cat Turd was the right-wing shit poster who I don't even think, like, exists anymore. I think he just faded into obscurity at this point. Who Elon Musk would, like, reply to every tweet of, and he would be like, "Sir, Elon Musk, sir, please, I'm getting less impressions than usual on my tweet. Can you?" And then Elon Musk would reply, like, looking into it or whatever. And it would just be, like, the most blatant favoritism you've ever seen happening publicly and just in front of everybody, right? But it gets more embarrassing than that because recently Elon Musk literally unbanned a right-wing figure who posted child pornography on the platform to try to own some lefties somehow. Because one of the right's favorite pastimes is posting child porn to own the lefties, I guess. It really is just... They're scum. They are truly scum. Like, everything that Elon Musk has done to favor them, and they are still not happy. I guess it's good to know that no amount of policy that's meant to make these, like, neckbeard degenerates pleased with the platform will ever actually satisfy them. They will try to boycott and, like, cancel whatever platform that they're mad at no matter what. No amount of appeasement will make them happy.
People are still getting shadow banned. He never answers any questions about shadow banning. He also rolled out their own version of shadow banning in a thread in which they talk about lawful but awful speech. And they outright say that awful speech will be deboosted, or it's just a different word for shadow banning. That's all fine and dandy, but who...
So what everyone said was going to happen is happening. Twitter suffered immensely from Elon Musk's attempts to make it more right-wing. Now he desperately needs money and to make it a profitable venture, at least a venture that has a non-negative ROI. And you know, he's folding now. He's folding. He's got to get ads on the platform. He's got to appease these corporations that don't like Nazis posting child porn on the platform. He's slowly going to have to fold.
Decides what is in fact awful speech. That was the problem with Twitter 1.0, when they deployed a Twitter trust and safety team, which had people like Yoel Roth and...
This is him being mad about the fact-checking that Twitter started doing. During roughly around the time of COVID, Twitter started doing fact-checking on Twitter posts that got viral. So if you said something like, Donald Trump was the true winner of the election, Twitter would just add like a little pinned thing beneath the tweet saying, there is absolutely no evidence the election was stolen from Donald Trump. All evidence says that Biden got more votes and legitimately won the election. Stuff like that, right? Someone will say, the vaccine causes autism or something, and there'll be a little note beneath saying there's no evidence whatsoever this is true, this is a demonstrable lie, that kind of thing. It's even funnier whenever they put the fact checks beneath a post that's like making a claim about something where it's just, this is a lie, here's what actually happened, and just like a direct link. That's always cool. That's always fun. But yeah, they're pretty... Right-wingers have been railing against that feature ever since it got added, because the ability for there just to be a stamp that says, this person is demonstrably lying, by the way, beneath all their propaganda posts was really bad for their, bad for their vibe.
And Vijaya Gadde, who banned a sitting president, who worked directly with intelligence agencies like the CIA and the FBI, Homeland Security, FBI agent Elvis Costello, or whatever, not Costello, but Elvis Chan in California to ban United States citizens, to infringe on United States citizens' First Amendment rights. Remember the whole Twitter files expose? Well, very little has changed. We're going to get into...
Okay, so this is, once again, the quartering, I guess, obsessed with Hunter Biden's dick. The Twitter files thing was about Hunter Biden. Basically what they did was they posted a bunch of, like, leaked nudes of Hunter Biden in the Twitter files, and the Hunter Biden's, like, team contacted Twitter and was like, hey, we're going to press legal action if you do not take down the photos, like, the revenge porn you've posted of Hunter Biden, which is literally something anybody can do through Twitter's, like, anybody can do that if they have revenge porn of them posted on Twitter, especially if it's by the platform. So, it got taken down, and since then the right has been trying to claim this is like some form of censorship of the truth. But believe it or not, it is not legal to spread nude photos of somebody against their will. Something they've been trying to claim is this implication that, like, the original claim was that Hunter Biden was a pedophile, and that he had child porn on his laptop. That was the initial claim. And then that never came out. No evidence of that ever came out. What did come out were photos of his dick and photos of him fucking, like, sex workers and smoking crack. But that's not anywhere even close to child porn or being a pedophile. Not even in the same ballpark. Not even the same town. But because there was stuff that many people see as embarrassing on the computer, and regardless of the fact that there was no evidence whatsoever that Hunter Biden's a pedophile, they just kind of operate with the implied suggestion that they totally had that proven true all along. Sometimes they'll outright say it, usually they just imply it. But yeah, that was basically the goalpost moving that they did.
The new terrible decision they made after a super quick word from this video sponsor. Huge shout out to this video.
Every day, I have to be reminded that these awful people live in unimaginable wealth. Every day. Every day. The quartering makes more money in a month than I'll ever make in a year. And that's just how life is.
Sponsor private internet access. Look, it's 2023. If you don't have a VPN, you're missing out on a ton of benefits. Not just a more
I'm making you
secure
guys watch the
connection, but if you're
sponsorship.
paying for
I'm gonna make you guys watch the quartering make like $20,000 or something. I don't know. He probably had like an $8,000 deal based on his channel size for this this sponsorship. They probably said like we'll give you 8 to 10K for 5 sponsored videos. Is probably what they did. No way I was about to buy from this company. Dude, if you can think of a popular company that has sponsored YouTubers, they have sponsored the quartering, and they have sponsored bigots and massive right-wing figures. None of these companies that, like NordVPN, I've seen sponsoring Nazis. I've seen HelloFresh sponsor Nazis. I've seen BetterHelp sponsor Nazis. I've seen, they're literally none of any company that does sponsorships through YouTubers is probably also sponsoring awful people. I've done one sponsorship ever, and it was for a water bottle company that they sent me the water bottle before I did the sponsorship for free. And I liked the water bottle so much, I was like, fuck it, I'll do a sponsorship for this. And I still have that water bottle. I need to find it, though. It's in my, like, packed luggage, and I really miss it, because it was really good, and I kind of miss having a much larger water bottle that was keeping water colder for way longer than these things do.
Netflix.
Oh yeah, that G Fuel or whatever, the big gamer energy drink company sponsored the Lolicon guy, Rev Says Desu. Yeah, there's like some of these big companies sponsor like full on like pedo YouTubers too. Yeah.
Like Disney Plus or any other streaming service, you're already getting locked out of a ton of additional content that you
Look at the
could be
quartering
enjoying
making his
if you
money.
used a VPN. And since they've been sponsoring the channel so
I bet
long,
he's gonna get like a
they've
flat
rolled out
screen
a
TV.
Massive discount for my viewers. That's right, 84% off plus 4 months free. It's
all right. This is too boring.
Recent decisions, all of which are being made now that Elon Musk has left the company. I do not believe, like many do, that Elon is like unaware of these changes. Elon spent half of his fortune to buy this website. There is no part of me that doesn't believe he doesn't completely sign off on all of these decisions. Many of the things that Elon has done, I strongly disagree with. For example, deboosting posts on X/Twitter that link back to my own YouTube videos. Or if I want to link somebody, he wants you to upload the content to Twitter. Well, I don't want to upload my videos to Twitter, okay?
Dude, Elon Musk is tanking his own shit so hard the right is turning against him. Because you can never appease sycophantic psychopaths like the type of people who believe what conservatives say.
They didn't get much reach anyway, and it just cost me a bunch of money because people will watch it there. And guess what? It matters when you have 5 employees. I don't like that he screwed over all the journalists who had Substacks that were paying their livelihoods. Now, I understand why he did it, but banning links off the site is also something that already big tech does. Facebook has done it for years.
Yes,
YouTube
Elon
has
Musk
done it for years.
Oh my god, the richest man in the world is doing, like who's super into big tech and is like the big tech guy, is doing big tech shit? Oh my god, and the left has been saying this is what he's going to do forever? Like, since this buyout was announced? Oh my god, who could have oh, wow. Unthinkable.
And so, Twitter doing it does not surprise me. It only surprises me because Elon promised he wouldn't do it. Then Elon made a huge display, display about dissolving the trust and safety team. Remember that? Remember when Yoel Roth had to go in front of Congress or whatever on the Hill and going to Capitol Hill and answer for all the nefarious things they did in terms of manipulating Trump's account and in my opinion trying to affect the...
That is a very interesting way to try to twist that hearing when there was literally no... What is he trying to argue right now? Is he trying to argue that, like, Twitter... The people who had the Twitter files taken down were, like, legally held accountable for their, like, anti... What is he arguing right now? Wait, can you not... What? Oh, okay. I guess it's not like modern Minecraft. Cool.
Outcome of the election. Oh yeah, I want to add also, yeah, Twitter still doesn't allow links to BitChute, or InfoWars. Why?
It does because Elon Musk is greedy, doesn't care about you, and has only been doing this from the beginning for money. What, like, yeah, you learned the hard way. Assuming you actually give a fuck about anything that you're saying in this video, yeah, you learned the hard way. We warned you. Elon Musk is a piece of shit. You shouldn't meat ride him. You shouldn't be a glazer for Elon Musk, but you were. You let him glaze you. And this is what happens when you let Elon Musk glaze you. The quartering got glazed by Elon Musk. That should be the title of this video. Can we title the video... Cherry, when this video goes up, can we title the video... The quartering gets glazed by Elon Musk? I think that'd be good.
You know, I guess the alternative is, sure, you know, upload it to Twitter, but if your revenue stream is off of Twitter, you no longer, it's lost a lot of value for people. When he dissolved, I mean, this is a big deal when he dissolved the Trust and Safety Team. Here's a Reuters article about it. Or not the Reuters article, NPR. Yeah, Musk's Twitter has dissolved its Trust and Safety Council. This was December 12th of last year, not even a year ago. I remember when this was a huge deal. It was a huge deal, right? Oh my gosh, he got rid of all these evil people that were shadow banning us and banning all of our friends for questioning the Poke, talking about the election. That's what Trust and Safety did.
Questioning the
It was an
Poke?
organization that was formed back in 2016 to address, quote, hate speech, which again is not a real thing. Hate speech is not a thing. It is a catch-all term that censorious authoritarians use to cancel.
Okay, he is unironically trying to claim right now there is no such thing as people who say hateful things about, like, what are Nazis saying? What are KKK rallies saying? Like, are they not doing hate speech? Is that not hateful speech? I think what he's trying to argue right now is that hate speech is not a legal term, that there is not a legal, like, a law against hate speech in America. There is in plenty of other countries, but not in America. Is that what he's trying to argue? That it's made up? Is he trying to argue that it's metaphorically made up? That it's, like, wrong that there be laws against hate speech? Or is he just so stupid he's outright trying to claim that nobody's racist anymore and racism doesn't exist, and anyone who claims racism does exist must just be an authoritarian, anti-free speech SJW who's trying to find a reason to make it so you can't question the Jews or whatever. Where are they coming from? Where are the monsters materializing from? Okay. This version of Minecraft doesn't have shields. It's time to just sleep. The darkness? Yeah, I guess so. They do tend to appear in the darkness.
Cancel and ban and shadow ban people. It's a term that advertisers use to take control of platforms and get them to ban people. If you don't think that that advertisers told Elon...
Wait, what? Advertisers use the term hate speech to take control of platforms and get people banned. Why? Why would corporations and advertisers want to control a platform for the purpose of getting its users banned, when the only purpose of having any, like, place on the platform in the first place as a corporation is because of its users? What kind of, like, I know he's JQing right now. He's like subtle JQing. He started doing it more often in his videos, for those that don't know. It's a very similar, I know the quartering is literally just like the new no bullshit, like it's not even a meme, but he's also started following no bullshit's path a lot more clearly. No bullshit for a long time played the like I'm an apolitical centrist card, and then eventually just started outright JQing in his videos one day. And once like the JQing started, then people started to actually challenge him on his politics, and that's when the debate with Destiny happened, and then it was all downhill from him from there. So we're seeing a very similar arc lately with the quartering, where he started to get more JQy in his videos.
Elon that he can't bring Alex Jones back. I got another thing coming. His whole ridiculous story about, oh, my baby. I mean, look, it sucks. I don't want to make light of it. But I also think it's equally bad that Elon Musk uses the passing of, I think one of his children were stillborn or something like that. And he's like, I held that baby, and that's why I can't let Alex back on the platform. Literally what? The reason Alex is not back on the platform is because he knows.
Well, it's because Alex Jones was legally found to have knowingly lied about the Sandy Hook shooting being a false flag, with the goal of encouraging people to harass the families of the survivors. So Elon Musk, in a very rare W moment, was like, yeah, that's pretty evil what he did, and I literally had a child die and like be in my arms. I can't, like when you, I can understand how even someone as narcissistic and awful as Elon Musk, having held their own dead child, might have a little bit of a sore spot for somebody who's gleefully made a living off of monetizing the deaths of children, spreading lies about the families and the survivors. Jesus Christ, the quartering is a demon. Guys, yeah, he's a massive demon. And remember, as he defends Alex Jones here, he is making more money each month than any of you guys will probably make in your lives. Because there is a lot of money in being evil online right now, and the only way you change that is by twisting the arms of companies like YouTube into doing something about it. Go to the Quartering's channel and report his worst videos. It's not against the rules to mass report a channel that's actually breaking YouTube's TOS. Like, there are several points in YouTube's terms of service that the Quartering breaks in almost every video. Go report some. If enough of you actually do it, it can have an effect. But lefties don't do that. They just hit don't recommend this channel, or they just like hit the block button, and that's it. I've reported tons of these channels. Like, if there's a particularly bad video, I've reported videos on stream before. I think Demon Mama encourages her audience to do it too, and she calls it the special comment for YouTube button. It's a button where you can leave a special comment for YouTube to let them know how much you liked the video.
Those advertisers would go running, and he's desperate to get them back, which is why he hired World Economic Forum beloved Linda Yaccarino, former NBC executive, who had recorded public service announcements about masking up or packing up and going home.
I forgot that the quartering is like all in all, through and through, 100% an anti-masker. An anti-vaxxer.
Now, the other things they, looked at were like, self-harm and things like that. Sure, fine. But that's not really what they did. What they did was censor political speech. What they did was ban anybody on the right who had questions about the poke. What they did was ban...
Oh, the vaccine. The poke. He's saying the poke, the vaccine. Okay. So he's doing anti-vax apologia now.
Work with the federal government to infringe on Americans' First Amendment rights, something that nobody has paid for. The Twitter files were pointless. Not one person was prosecuted because of the Twitter files, and many of you knew it at the time. It was fun. It was fun to cover. It was interesting.
No one did anything
but
wrong.
We have concrete evidence that the federal government in the United States infringed on citizens' First Amendment rights by using the end around of their intelligence agencies. And
literally all that happened was that Hunter Biden's team filed a request with Twitter to take down the posts because they contained his nudes, and it was revenge porn, which is literally against the law.
Nobody got arrested. Nobody got sued. Nobody lost their jobs.
Because no one did anything wrong.
This
other
is,
than
again, after that.
the
So
Twitter
then they bring
people
back,
like Elon,
remember Yoel Roth?
who are in charge.
So then they bring back shadow banning. And now yesterday, again, all they're doing is bringing back all the Twitter 1.0 stuff, and this is the end right here. Twitter may add more features.
Twitter been
may
the
add
end.
more features and things like that.
It's been the end for a lot longer than you know.
X may add more features than Twitter had. Sure. Okay. However, it's not better in terms of free speech. People are still getting suspended. It's been over a year and people are still shadow banned. This is something that Elon could have, if he wanted, removed on day one. He hides behind, oh my God, the stack, the programming is so complex. There's hundreds of ways that they suppress accounts. I can't figure it out. Here's the thing. If he cared about it, it would be fixed already. They sure got monetization rolled out fast, didn't they? They sure got those $5 a month subscriptions rolled out fast, didn't they?
Yeah, no
Guess
shit.
what a great way to silence your biggest critics are? Get them paid. I don't see a lot of those high-paying accounts. I wonder what Benny Johnson has said about this. Has Benny Johnson said anything about this? Has Alex said anything about this? Has his little buddy
That's
Ian
me.
Miles Chong said anything about this? Probably not, because they're all getting paid. Right? It's genius. He can control his biggest
not
critics
actually
by
me.
dangling
That's just my
monetization
name.
over their head. Trust and safety rights. X has a responsibility to put the right systems in place to ensure our communities have access to open, accurate, and safe political discourse. What exactly is safe political discourse?
Uh-oh. The quartering heard a good policy about
That's why we're
keeping
hiring more
misinfo
people, updating our policies, and
from
involving
spreading.
our product.
Uh-oh.
This says supporting people's right. Do they have a right to accurate and safe political discourse? Now, if you had said accurate, fine. But remember when
Well, you're again
it was
spanning
not
misinfo.
accurate to say that, to talk about remember when it's not accurate to talk about the origins of, that thing?
He's trying
remember
to say
when it wasn't safe? Remember when people...
he's trying to say that it has been confirmed that COVID came from a Chinese super lab where they were developing it to as a bioweapon against the US. He's claiming that's been confirmed. That's been confirmed apparently, according to the quartering here. That COVID came from a Chinese biolab where they were making weaponized viruses for use in warfare. He's always a bit drunk, isn't he? No, the quartering's a big alcoholic. A lot of these right-wing grifter types are alcoholics. Keemstar's also an alcoholic, I believe. Like, a lot of these types are like massive fucking addicts behind the scenes.
People like Malone and stuff like that were all banned. I don't really... I mean, when you're talking about safe speech, you're talking about the exact same crap that they had before. The exact same crap that they always had. This is the end of whatever free speech Elon promised us. That's not happening. And we also know, by the way, that in terms of the terminology,
guys.
what is
figured it
accurate,
out.
well, that moves, right? Have all those people who got banned for misinformation that turned out to be true, have they been reinstated?
Name
as far
one
as
thing.
I know, most of them have not. You see Abby Libby saying, in other words, you're not a free speech platform. Whose accuracy are you referring to? Seth Weather says, gross. Shout out to these people actually speaking up about it. Redheaded Libertarian, don't use the dystopian phrases like open, accurate, and safe political discourse. I wrote,
God,
you
they're
mean
so
trust and
evil.
safety department returns, rehiring Yoel Roth. This guy, he is on Twitter's good side, but he criticizes, so good for him. Meet the boss. New boss team is the old boss. Safe political discourse. This is not what we asked for. This is all about advertisers. They never...
Do you think this is the right, realizing that Elon Musk is becoming exceedingly unpopular, and that him being a representative of the right is starting to look worse for the right? Do you think that's what this is? Like, do you think the Elon Musk craze within the right is just wearing off, and they're trying to get out ahead of it by seeming like they're the anti-Elon Musk ones now? Yes, 100%. Yeah, that's definitely the vibe I'm getting right now, that's for sure. How many diamonds have I gotten so far? 2? I thought I mined more than that. Weird.
Never got rid of shadow bans. They never got rid of the permanent suspensions. They're already suspending people for manipulating monetization, all this kind of stuff.
Why shouldn't they do that?
Yeah, pardon me if I don't, want to point out the fact that this is exactly the same as old Twitter, and Elon broke all these promises. Of course he knows about this. Of course he knows. He is desperate to get advertising funds back, and I understand why. I 100% understand why.
I thought go woke,
really
go broke. Where's go woke, go broke?
But the reality is
it
he doesn't need to.
Unwoke, go broke?
He could continue to focus on Twitter Blue. I'm sorry, X Premium and all this kind of stuff.
No, he can't. You people don't make him enough money.
Safe is exactly what it sounds like. It's right back to the old Twitter 1.0.
Okay, cool. Just literally cuts out. Like no wrap up, no ending. He's too lazy to do like a little outro bit to say goodbye to people in his videos. God, his content's gotten so fucking lazy. I wonder what's the viewership looking like? Yeah, 60,000 views in 3 days. Is his channel falling off? He's got 1.57 million subs. He got 72,000 views in a video from a day ago, 55 a day ago, 82 a day ago, 49 a day ago, 136 2 days ago, 123 2 days ago. Okay, if you go beyond 2 days ago, most of his uploads are breaking 100k views, but he's getting a lot more sub 50k and around 30k view videos than usual lately. It seems like the ones that are getting over 100k views are the ones where he's covering something that's popular in conservative culture spaces. He's covered this Gadsden flag, 12-year-old defeats school and forces emergency meeting. They had to let him back. There's this, 12-year-old libertarian kid who, brought a libertarian flag to school. And because there are laws that now make that type of imagery on flags against the rules and against the law now in schools, because, they wanted to keep pride flags out of schools, the staff tried to apply those same rules to the Don't Tread on Me flag, but the school staff was ended up forced to allow the kid to continue to keep the flag at school, and they continue to ban pride flags. So it was literally just it's just a story where the right's like, hell yeah, we're able to make it so kids can bring their libertarian flags to school, but pride flags are banned in any capacity. Let's go. It's literally just them celebrating their authoritarian lawmaking. And then, of course, in that video we just watched from the quartering, he calls the left authoritarian and yeah. These people are evil. They are demons. How'd you guys like that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. A little bit of dunking on these demonic conservatives. I've only got one segment left for us to do, and unfortunately it's not one we can do while playing Minecraft because it requires me to read, but I think you'll find it interesting. All right. You all know what to do when I say action, right? 3, 2, 1, action. All right, everybody. This segment's going to be a bit of a weird one, because today we're going to be doing research on a popular conspiracy theory that most of you probably only know by name. At least I only knew by name for all the time I knew about it up until relatively recently. And that was until I just had this twinge to just, like, look into it and find out what the fuck it was. And when I looked it up on YouTube, what I was hoping to find were some trustworthy education, edutainment YouTubers that I know already who'd covered it and made some, like, breakdown videos of it explaining the conspiracy theory. That stuff's common with stuff like the moon landing hoax conspiracy theory types and, like, anti-vaxxers and flat earthers, etc. But I could not find a single trustworthy YouTuber who had covered the Bohemian Grove conspiracy. And so I was like, fuck. Alright, well, I'm just gonna go read on it myself then. So I decided to go to Wikipedia. A fairly trustworthy source most of the time. And I decided to read up on it. And I quickly started to realize this might not be as much of a conspiracy theory as I thought it was. I think this is just, like, real and known. Like, not even like a undercover secret thing. But it's like a really popular conspiracy theory that you hear Nazis and conservatives talking about being like some Jewish global domination shit. But when I read about it, it sounds way more like some, like, rich white man conservative, like, dark money meetings, more than, like, anything like that. Let me explain it. Bohemian Grove is a restricted 2,700-acre, 1,100 HA, I don't know what that is supposed to be, campground at, 20601 Bohemian Avenue in Monte Rio, California in the United States, belonging to a private San Francisco-based gentlemen's club known as the Bohemian Club. In mid-July each year, Bohemian Grove hosts more than two-week encampment of some of the most prominent men in the world. Keyword, men. The Bohemian Club's all-male membership includes artists and musicians, as well as many prominent business leaders, government officials, former U.S. presidents, senior media executives, and people of power. Members may invite guests to the Grove. Guests may be invited to the Grove for either the Spring Jinx in June or the main July encampment. Bohemian Club members can schedule private day-use events at the Grove anytime it is not being used for club-wide purposes, and they are allowed at these times to bring spouses, family, and friends, although female and minor guests must be off the property by 9 or 10 p.m. So, already, when I was reading this, I was like, what the fuck? This is definitely weird, but this is more along the lines of the kind of shit conservatives would be getting up to than, like, lefty Ivory Coast or Ivory Tower West Coast liberals would be getting into. Let's read more. After 40 years of membership, this is starting to sound a lot more like a cult than like a like club. You know, the more that we read. Is it on Rational? Guys, this is just normal Wikipedia I'm reading from. I'm not reading from like crazy conservatoid Wikipedia or anything like that. I'm just reading the Wikipedia page for this. After 40 years of membership, the men earn Old Guard status, giving them reserved seating at the Grove's daily talks, as well as other perks. Former U.S. President Herbert Hoover was inducted into the Old Guard on March 4th, 1953. He had joined the club exactly 40 years prior. Redwood branches from the Grove were flown to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City, where they were used to decorate a banquet room for the celebration. In his acceptance speech, Hoover compared the honor of the Old Guard status to his frequent role as veteran counselor to later presidents. The club motto is "Weaving spiders come not here," which implies that outside concerns and business deals, or networking, are to be left outside. When gathered in groups, Bohemians usually adhere to the injunction. Although discussion of business often occurs between pairs of members, important political and business deals have been developed at the Grove. The Grove is particularly famous for a Manhattan Project planning meeting that took place there in September 1942, which subsequently led to the atomic bomb. Those attending this meeting included Ernst Lawrence, J. Robert Oppenheimer, the S1 executive committee heads such as the presidents of Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, along with the representatives of Standard Oil and General Electric, as well as various military officials. At the time, Oppenheimer was not an S1 member, though Lawrence and Oppenheimer hosted the meeting. I think you guys understand why when I read this, I was like, what the fuck? I need to read this on stream. So, what do you guys make of this so far? What do you guys make of this so far? Because when I was reading this, I was just like, fuck. No, that member list is public. It's not as like, the thing about it is that it's not like a super secretive thing, except for certain events. There are certain events they do that are very secretive, and that's what we'll be getting to in a moment. Oh, sorry. I don't have the screen set up for showing the text. Grove members take particular pride in this event and often relate the story to new attendees. Other behavior at the campground has led to numerous claims and even some parody in popular culture. One example was President Richard Nixon's comments on May 13, 1971, tape recording talking about upper-class San Franciscans, the Bohemian Grove, which I attend from time to time. It is the most F-slurry goddamn thing you could ever imagine with that San Francisco crowd. So I guess that's where the right-wing hate for this and, like, the conspiracies about it being, like, Jewish started, was Nixon saying it is the most F-slurry thing that he's ever seen. That's actually really funny. The tradition of a summer encampment was established 6 years after the Bohemian Club was formed in 1872. Henry Harry Edwards, a stage actor and founding member, I honestly don't care about its founding, I'm going to be completely honest. Membership and operation. The Bohemian Club is a private club. Only active members and their guests may visit. Guests have been known to include politicians and notable figures from other countries. Particularly during the midsummer encampment, the number of guests is strictly limited due to the small size of the facilities. Camp valets. Camp valets are responsible for the operation of the individual camps. The head valets are akin to general managers at a resort, club, restaurant, or hotel. Service staff include female workers whose presence at the Grove is limited to daylight hours in central areas close to the main gate. Male workers may be housed at the Grove within the boundaries of the camp to which they are assigned or in peripheral service areas. High-status workers stay in small private quarters, but most are housed in rustic bunkhouses. Facilities. The main encampment area consists of 160 acres of old-growth redwood trees, over 1,000 years old. How much you want to bet that the biggest tree in the world, which is a redwood tree named like Titan or some shit like that, but no one knows the location of it and it's illegal to go to its location? How much you want to bet it's on this property or some shit like that? How much you want to bet this insane, weird, like, misogynistic rich boy cult in the mountains? It's either like misogynistic or gay as fuck. That's the thing. And Richard Nixon did say it was very gay. Maybe they want all the women gone so it can all be boys. They just want it to be all guys, all dudes. That also wouldn't surprise me. Or both, yeah. I mean, gay dudes can be pretty misogynistic because at that point, like, what's the point of What's the point of pretending to like women when... I'm sorry. I couldn't resist making that joke. I couldn't resist the joke. But unironically, though, there are a ton of gay dudes who think that way. They're like, what point do I have in, like, pretending to like women? You know? Like, there are a fair amount of gay guys that are like that. Women Wednesday and Twink Tuesday? True. Yeah. Security. The Bohemian Grove is protected by a sophisticated security team year-round. The Bohemian Club employs ex-military personnel to help secure the area. They use high-end security equipment including thermal night vision cameras, motion detectors, and vibration-sensing alarm systems. The level of security is particularly heightened during the time periods that members are on site. During these times, the local sheriff's office, California Highway Patrol, and, if warranted by the guest list, the United States Secret Service help to secure the areas and roads surrounding the encampment. In 2019, the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors informed the club that 2019 would be the last year they provided law enforcement security. Despite the high level of security present, there have been numerous high-profile successful infiltrations of the Bohemian Grove. In the summer of 1980, Rick Gloger gained entrance to the Grove with the help of an employee and posed as a worker during 2 weekends of the annual encampment. His efforts, the first magazine reporting from the inside the Grove, were published in the August 1981 issue of Mother Jones. Around the same time, ABC Evening News aired a special report on Bohemian Grove. In the summer of 1989, Spy magazine writer Philip Weiss spent 7 days in the camp posing as a guest, which led to his November 1989 article Inside the Bohemian Grove. He was eventually discovered and arrested for trespassing. Well, I like how they can get you after the fact for that. Jesus. On July 15, 2000, Alex Jones and his cameraman Mike Hansen clandestinely entered Bohemian Grove and shot footage of the cremation of care ceremony. Jones claimed it was a ritual sacrifice. From the footage, documentary filmmaker John Ronson produced the episode The Satanic Shadowy Elite, in which he characterizes the proceedings as an overgrown frat party, which Jones produced dark secrets inside the Bohemian Grove, describing what he said were satanic rituals. This is a real thing, though, that they do. It's where they burn an effigy as part of the event, like a Burning Man style thing. The cremation of care is an annual ritual production written, produced, and performed by and for members of the Bohemian Club. It is staged at the Bohemian Grove near Monte Rio, California, in front of a 40-foot tall image of an owl at a small artificial lake and amid a old growth grove of redwood trees. The dramatic performance is presented on the first night of the annual encampment as an allegorical banishing of worldly cares for the club members and to present symbolically the salvation of the trees by the club. But the secretive nature of the Bohemians and the political power of some of its members have been criticized. So, okay. Do I think there's some satanic worship shit going on? Obviously not. Do I think that this is probably like bordering on a cult and a extremely exclusive group of rich, powerful people that come together for a getaway in the California mountains to basically like plan out among themselves how the next like however many years of the future are going to go for the rest of society because they are the people who run society? Yes. The one thing about conspiracy theory ideas that has always had a shred of truth is the idea that powerful people typically have a vested shared interest in maintaining power. The problem is, from that basis, they go insane with it. I think this here is a perfect example of a conspiracy theory, of, if you even want to call it that actually has some level of grounding if you don't go as far as like Alex Jones with the bizarre, like, satanic ritual claims. I don't think it's a satanic ritual. I think it's a bunch of preppy, wealthy people who want to feel like they have what the right describes. Like, if I'm being honest, if I was a rich, powerful person, I'd want to feel like I was part of a cabal of rich, powerful people that decides everything. And that's probably what this is. A big LARP for rich, powerful people to feel like they are what the right says they are. which is just a very bizarre thing to exist. But I don't know. This had been my like little bizarre hyperfixation for a little while now, so I thought I'd share it with all you guys. What do you guys think of that segment? I feel like it came out pretty good. Do you guys feel like that was a good segment? Good segment? Hell yeah. Oh no, Diesel Baby, you got here right at the end of the stream. That sucks. Let me read some donos really quick. Hemorrhoid King, thank you for the tier 1 gifted sub to Eric. I really appreciate it. You didn't say anything, but I'm sure you love me. I'm sure you meant to say I love you, Zan. You're awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I assume you have hemorrhoids if you're the Hemorrhoid King. Hopefully that stops. The Sayer of the Law, thank you for the tier 3 sub. I really appreciate that. I'm gonna assume that's $12, I think. How much is... I actually forget how much the tier 3 subs are every time one comes up. I don't know why. They're not the most common. $20. Thank you so much. You can correct me if I was wrong about how many months it is, but thank you so much. Said, I'm still mad about what you said about Mortal Kombat, but if you enjoy... Here's where I differ from Vosh, okay? I disagree with the idea that you're wasting your life if you're playing a game that you enjoy, but I don't. Vosh has gone on rants I completely disagree with, where he says, stop wasting your life playing games like Minecraft or games like Call of Duty or games like Assassin's Creed that just waste your life. You're wasting your life. You're dying. You're whatever. It's like, nah, I think it's fine for people to enjoy their trash if they like their trash. If it's what makes them happy and they enjoy it, then I think it's good that they enjoy it. People are allowed to have different preferences than I do, and that doesn't make them like a bad person. It is, though, when they start basing their perspectives on provably false statements that I take issue. Didn't he just mean live service games? No, I'm pretty sure the rants I've seen him go on were just about, like, infinity games generally. Like, any game that is meant for you to be able to get infinite amount of enjoyment out of it. Vosh thinks that you should pick up a game, play through it, beat it, and then never touch it again unless you're returning to it for, like, nostalgia and, like, because it's so good it has replay value, like, later down the road. Like, he doesn't like the idea of a game being the kind of game you play forever as, like, a like, League of Legends, Call of Duty, Fortnite, like, the game you get on with your friends and just, like, play forever unless it dies. And it's fine not to be a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of them. But I don't think it's like... I don't think people who play them and enjoy them are wasting their lives. Because if they're playing them, they're presumably getting enjoyment out of them. Like, I'm not big on Risk of Rain 2. My friends have tried so hard to get me into Risk of Rain 2. Balthazar, Ethan, literally all my friends want to get me into it. I've watched YouTubers that I love the gaming videos of, like Uber Danger, play it on videos. It does not appeal to me. I have no interest in roguelikes. I have no interest in that type of game. I would rather claw my eyeballs out. I do not think they're wasting their lives playing it, though. I don't think you've wasted 500 hours of your life, because presumably you love the game. Most people who've played it and talked to me seem to love the game. Those are not hours wasted. Obviously, if you're sacrificing your health and your safety for these hobbies that you do, then it's bad. But if it's just garbage content that you like, and it's just, I don't agree with your opinion on the content being good, then there's no issue with you consuming it. Anyway, Cherry T21, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate that. Thank you. And says, it's like this, but gayer? Let's see this. You know the guy who made the Shadow Wizard Money Gang thing is a Nazi, right? I'm pretty sure that was, like, big known news, was that this person got outed as, like, far right. Hold on.
Shadow Wizard Money Gang. We love casting spells.
It is a good meme, though.
This song is sponsored by the Shadow Government. Legalize nuclear bombs.
That is true. We should legalize nuclear bombs. Everyone should be able to have one. If every single person on Earth had a nuke, then, like, no one would ever launch their nukes, because we'd have, like, maximum nuclear deterrence. Hideo Kojima is literally pissing and shitting himself right now. And Stanley Kubrick is also pissing and shitting himself right now. He's probably dead. I don't know if Stanley Kubrick is still alive. Yeah, Kubrick's dead? Okay. Yeah, he's rolling in his grave then. I mean, I would assume, like, fucking Doctor Strangelove's in, like, super black and white, you know? Heavy Gretel, thank you for the 3 tier 1 gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for the $15. Thank you for the gifted subs to KCC, Not Gonna Lie, Cheese is Good, and Mad Maddie Sock. I really appreciate it. Donating to encourage others to donate. Based. True and based and awesome. Yeah, Kubrick died in 1999. Wait, that was the year I was born. Guys, what if I'm the reincarnated fucking Stanley Kubrick? What if I'm him? That wouldn't be good. Stanley Kubrick was apparently, like, awfully abusive to the woman who played... I forget what her name is. She was the wife in The Shining. When like, the actress who played the wife in The Shining was, like, horribly abused in the production of that movie. I believe it was awful. Yeah, Shelley Duvall. She's doing well now, thankfully. Cool. That's good. Anyway, Discordant Vol, thank you so much for the 5 tier 1 gifted subs. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the 25 bucks. Very kind of you. Gifted to Nadia, Agamotto1313, Lucky Otter, Death Died Today, and Shrimp. I really appreciate it. I hope they do too. It says, get subbed on, nerd. Hell yeah, thank you. And Hemorrhoid King, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate it. Said, thank you for at least not telling us we're wasting our lives for enjoying bad video. Like if you enjoy it, then it's not a bad game. It's subjective. Like, your opinion on a piece of media is subjective. The reasons for why you like it might not be. Like, if you say, I like this game because it gives me a lot of, like, a large variety of ways to play, and it's like Tetris, it's like, but no, it doesn't. Wait, your opinion's not wrong. It's like, you can like Tetris, but your reason for that opinion is wrong. Like, I'll argue against that. But you're not wrong for playing it, and your opinion's not wrong. It's an opinion. Opinions, by definition, can't be wrong. Only the basis on which they're built. Dr. Joggy, thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Very kind of you. Very base. Says, thank you for at least not... Oh, yeah, I already read that one. I'm sorry. I reread the same dono. This is why I really need this to be automated. Hemorrhoid King, thank you for the $5 donation. Said, money, money, money. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Have a good one, Hemorrhoid King. Deterra Dude, thank you for the $20 donation. You didn't even say anything, but I really appreciate it. I'm sure you meant something kind by it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Based, Pog. I love you, buddy. The Sayer of the Law, thank you for the $5. I really appreciate that as well. Thank you, thank you. Says, I used to own a Mosin. I absolutely loved it. Way more style than an AK or an AR-15. Although, still not as much style as a lever action, though. Yeah, lever actions are just cool. There's really just nothing cooler than shooting a lever action. You just look so awesome doing it. The only thing maybe cooler is a shotgun when you, like, expel an empty shell. When you just rack an empty shell out of the chamber. That looks pretty cool, too. Bolt actions are pretty awesome, but they're clunky. Like, 1 out of 10 times, you will be able to work the bolt on, like, an old Mosin in a way that looks cool, like from the movies, like one smooth motion. I've done it, like, 5 times, where I've, like, smacked the bolt sideways, hooked it, pulled it back, shot the empty round out, pulled it forward, smacked it back all in one clean motion, and it didn't get caught. Those old guns love getting caught. The bolts, you gotta oil those things up, you gotta sand them up, and you gotta maintain them well to keep it smooth. But usually when you're firing someone's Mosin, it's gonna have a 1 out of 10 chance of actually having that smooth bolt action that you want to see. But when it happens, it's worth it. And you look cool as fuck. I love the sound of bolt-action rifles being fired. Is